What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Twitter blew up, and it blew up because of reactions to Ye and Nick Fury. The first videos we saw, they were at the airport walking in. It looks like they were going to Mar-a-Lago, and they were walking in like gangsters. It's Ye Day, everybody. It's Ye Day. It's a new era. Now, I have some positive things to say about Ye, so my thumbnail is probably misleading. My first reaction is I do have some criticism of Ye. I don't think he's focused enough. But I'm going to show you how this all started. The first news that we got was Ye at the airport. And when I saw the face that I have in this thumbnail is probably exactly how I looked when I first saw this. It's not that surprising. It's not that surprising at all when you consider Nick is a big Ye fan. I'm a big fan of Nick Fury. I listen to his shows almost nightly. And none of this should be a real surprise, but to see it in reality, to see it play out, was shocking. It is shocking still. Right now, it's shocking. I think that's the theme of this live, is that it's Ye Day. They met with Trump, y'all. Ye, formerly the artist formerly known as Kanye, meets with America First political commentator Nick Fury. This guy is so controversial that I will try as much as possible to refrain from saying his real name. Yes, a high school debate geek, a nerd. One of those high school debate nerds, which that's no diss. That's probably somebody I would have hung out with in high school, even though I wasn't a debate dude. That's not a diss, but that's what he is. And he was banned. He's not anymore. You see him flying. That's why they banned him, to stop this from happening. They're going to meet, and this has already happened. They met with Donald J. Don Dada at Mar-a-Lago. And so this is them coming in. And then this is the only song that's appropriate to play. It's Ye Day. Let's go. Let's go. This is a culture reset. You want to do a one world global reset, people from the bottom on up, and you're going to need $1 billion, $1 million leaders. There's not going to be a populist uprising without some leaders that have interests that converge. Elon Musk, Ye, Nick Fury, whoever else. This is our version of a reset. The whole live is going to be this on a loop for 2 hours. That's how lit this is right now. You're walking. People on Twitter were saying, and I apologize for the background noise. My kids are right above my head right now in the secret confines of the recording basement, and it is not soundproof, as you might be able to hear. I saw tons of posts where people said, what timeline are we in? Is this a multiverse? Are aliens real? No, this is real. This also includes not just Nick, it includes Milo, Sneeko. I have questions about some of the product that Ye is still wearing. I don't know what day. I'm gonna show a bunch of different videos on this live. I don't know what day this was from, but he's still wearing product from the company that dropped him, and they are right now in the midst of one of the most disgusting controversies we've ever seen a company involved in. I'll just affectionately refer to them as Belly because I think YouTube has kind of said, yeah, too many people kind of talking about this controversy with this prawn, this underage stuff that they're doing. So you probably don't want to talk about that. Why do you think this dude was banned? Because they knew the cultural impact of this. I know there's a ton of people on the channel who are not a fan. Well, number one, I won't listen to what you have to say about Nick unless you watch Nick. Unless you can actually talk about the things that he says. You don't have to watch him every night, but you have to have something that he said specifically that you have a concern with. I am done with these generalities. Calling people, oh, you know what? He's a white this, or he's an anti this. I'm done with that. There are things that I can't even talk about on YouTube that I don't believe in that might have happened in 2020. And what are you going to label me something? Are you going to shut down my bank account? The big moon in the sky. It is my opinion, and it's my right to have my opinion, that I don't think any human has ever stepped foot on it before. Not only that, I think you are an ass clown if you believe we have. Am I gonna get my bank account snatched? If you think that take is whack, then think it's whack. But you don't need to label anybody as anything. And that's part of this cultural reset. That's part of the importance of this. Imagine being in the airport, seeing Ye and Nick just walking through like, wait, you're like, wait, what? Who is that? Is that who I think it is? Yes, it is. This story, I can't do a live without talking about Timcast. This story indirectly brings Timcast into this. Through friend of show, I follow her a lot. Friend of show, Cassandra McDonald, formerly known as maiden name Fairbanks. She wrote an article last night about this, debunking a Daily Beast story that was allegedly leaked by Jason Miller, and Ye retweeted it. Tim was like, yes, and he should be happy and proud of who he has chosen to associate himself with in this cultural battle. Because Ye retweeting the article, I'm gonna get into all this. I'm just trying to lay it all out. Ye retweeting the article from Timcast News brings eyes that don't even know who Tim Pool is to his website. Probably millions of impressions, potentially. From an account like Ye, especially with Twitter, who knows who's shadow banned or not, but with less of that stuff. Woo! The news is hot right now. The news is hot. This is important. I'm going to tell you what, I'm just going to try and get I don't want to say bad stuff, but my criticism of, this is what sparked the whole video, was this video that Ye released. So my understanding is this was released after the Trump meeting. I mean, it looks like it, obviously, because he's debriefing it. And I thought the Trump meeting, I don't know what day exactly, in the article, I'll go through the Timcast article, it sounded like it was on Thanksgiving. So I'm going to go through that. But Ye just retweeted Darren Beatty. Man, this is real. This is some real stuff right now. Let me go to the post that really got me into this. There's a lot to unpack. I'm just going to play it and then unpack it after I play the clip. This is directly from Ye on Twitter. This is why it's important for them to ban people, because Ye has a lot of reach and people are kind of looking at this like, wait, what's going on here? What's happening here? Let's take a look. If you're listening, it says Yeezy headquarters, LA, California, Mar-a-Lago debrief. So I don't know. People are telling me that this happened before. I don't know what's going on. I'll go through the article from Cassandra McDonald and we'll break it down. You tell me if you know more. He didn't put a date on it. 3.5 million views on Twitter. Let me just take a brief check to make sure the sound sounds good. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so let's do this before I get in. I'm gonna play this video. Got to react to it. Oh, yeah, let's go. Okay, we need we need to get if Che is available, let's sidetrack and get him on this live immediately. We've got somebody who, to me, has a great grasp of what's happening with Ye. One of the best. I'm gonna email you Che right now. Let me get the link here. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I do not. So Nick Fury is a white pause nationalist. Yes, I'm a black national. You could say I don't get into this identifying color stuff, but you could say I'm a black nationalist. What does that mean? I'm a person that people would label as black, and I'm America first. That's all it means. So that let me get the link here for Che before I get too much into it. I don't know how much time he might have. Get him in while he can. Anybody, if you want to get in on the live, come on board. Che, I'm trying to get this to you immediately, so we can get this popping. So thanks everybody for joining. I did not do an audio check, so hopefully the audio's good. Give me some feedback there. I am right now going through to find Che's email. My apologies. And I just sent him an email the other day. All right, so let's do this here. Okay, Che, I just sent you the link. Just pop up in the live and we'll get it going. Appreciate you. Like that. I'm getting a little bit. I gotta stop and look and see what's going on in the chat. He said, send me the link. So I just emailed you the link, Jay. He got time this morning. Let's do it. Listen to Nick. Okay, we got a Nick fan. A lot of people on the channel are not Nick fans. That's fine. You don't have to be a Nick fan, for sure. Don't get me wrong. Excuse me, I got a little cough. You don't have to be a Nick fan. But I am a Nick fan. And people, the danger with these labels is that, okay, you label Nick as X, Y, and Z. And the whole reason I started listening to Nick, I was like, this dude's 20-something years old and he's on the federal no-fly list, and he didn't break any laws. So now, and naturally, I need to know why a 20-year-old, weak-looking dude, I mean, no disrespect, just like, he's not a threatening type of looking dude. So I'm like, how does because they understand the power of philosophy. That's why Sneeko banned. That's why Andrew Tate banned. They understand the power of philosophy. And this is about Gen Z, in my opinion. I'm going to get into more details. I'm going to be curious to see what Che says, because he's very knowledgeable in this world, in this aspect with Ye and all that. So this perspective is going to be excellent. Thanks for stopping by. So let me, while Che gets the link, let me know, Che, if you don't see it. While Che gets the link, let me play the video. And then I'm going to mute myself so my kids don't kind of mess it up. I'm going to play it once, and then I'm going to break it down. So let's get it.
I think the thing that Trump was most perturbed about, me asking him to be my vice president, I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is, you'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done, there were loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from. He basically gives me this would-be mob-esque kind of story talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby or whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a you could tell her I said that. And I was thinking, like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're going to lose. Tell him he's going to lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
Perfect. That's a little shout out to beyond Gen Z. I don't think Gen Z even rocks with Street Fighter like that. There's a Street Fighter sound effect at the end of it. So let's go through that a little bit. There's a lot to unpack on that. I don't know if I'm going to even unpack everything. First of all, I don't know what date this is. So if anybody knows for sure, let me know. I thought this was after the Thanksgiving deal. EA posted it last night. I don't know. I should jump over. After I do this, I'm going to jump over to the Cassandra McDonald article. So
I think the thing that Trump was most perturbed about me.
So let's first start off by the first scene. That's Sneeko. No, I don't know for sure. It looks like Sneeko. I haven't heard Sneeko or anybody say it wasn't Sneeko. Sneeko rolls with with Nick Fury. I don't know if he knows Milo. Obviously, it looks like he does. He rolls in that circle. He knows Destiny. The only thing that would make this crazier is if Destiny were with them. Obviously, he's not. He's a establishment, corporate dude. But they, Nick and Destiny used to at least go back and forth a lot, and actually hung out. They've live where they're eating dinner together, all that with Sneeko too, I believe. So before we're probably 1 second into the video after the little intro, and Sneeko's in a chair just looking at this. That's a little hint, because they didn't have to include him in there. They're dropping little hints in it, or who knows, maybe it was an accident. But that's Sneeko. So that tells you they're going after Gen Z, and it's males. They're going after Gen Z males. It's not many. I don't think there's many females. At most, probably 20% of Sneeko's audience at the max. If Sneeko has more than 20% females, he might, because they get into a relationship stuff. I mean, that's smart. Destiny's doing that too. I think it's because, and he's getting more women on his show, which is great. And Nick, I think Nick says some misogynistic things, type of things, but I think he even wants to get into other circles. So they have. If you don't know, I'm not a huge follower of Sneeko. I just seen him from watching Destiny videos, so I don't have a take on Sneeko. Let me know what y'all think about Sneeko if you follow him. He's banned from YouTube. I think he's a young man who is another great marketer, entertaining. Doing these lives and making them entertaining is not easy to capture people's attention. So they talk about drama, they get into stuff, controversial takes, and that's how they rise to power, is because they resonate with a group of people. They're charismatic, funny, and Sneeko's that type of dude. Not afraid to say stuff, not afraid to say controversial things, but actually not smart enough, in my opinion, to keep your platform. But he shouldn't be banned, though, in my opinion. So that's a Gen Z male demographic right there here. Milo, I don't know. I'm still learning about Milo. To me, he's from what I've seen, a very smart philosopher type, brilliant fashion marketer. You can tell why Ye wants to roll with these people. And Ye's getting up there in age. How old is Ye? Let me look that up. How old is Kanye? He's not going to have the influence with the younger. He's almost exactly as old as I am. He's like 6 months. He's 6 months older than me. Yay. So I have no touch with Gen Z at all. I'm learning about Gen Z. I don't know much about Gen Z. Ye needs people, even though he's way more in touch with it than me, obviously. He needs people that are in touch with Gen Z. Somebody replied to me and said Gen Z isn't into these type of dudes. That's a lie. Most of Gen Z is not. But to maximize, because when you look at Ye's the head of it, remember, not Milo, not Nick, not even Sneeko. They're just there. Ye represents a bunch of Gen Zers that would never vote Trump. They would never. Trump would have no chance with, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people who listen to Ye, identify as black or whatever, not even just that, but follow Ye, would never rock with MAGA or America First, believe it or not. So Ye is bringing them in. You saw he retweeted the Timcast article. Obviously, Timcast is a classic liberal, but he's bringing more people into that world where Tim's not afraid to say, well, if I have to choose between Don Dada and Biden, it's a no-brainer. So what Ye can do is group himself with the right people and then add his flair, his reach, and then become influential. The midterms, we learned in the midterms, one of the biggest places that MAGA failed, and it was partly because they were sabotaged, but partly because of the messaging with fetuses and all that stuff. A lot of it was with Gen Z. Here's a TikTok that kind of goes into that. The corporate shills are very excited with the midterms of what they were able to do with Gen Z. Here's a TikTok describing that.
Many experts predicted a red wave during last week's midterm elections, but young voters helped Democrats dilute that. Hey guys, I'm Paige Skinner and I'm a BuzzFeed News reporter. Let's get into it. Exit polls show that 2/3 of young voters backed Democratic candidates for the House of Representatives, compared to the majority of 45 to 64-year-olds who voted Republican. It's estimated that 27% of young Americans cast a ballot in the midterm elections, which means this is the second highest youth turnout for a midterm election in the last 30 years. On Wednesday, President Joe Biden thanked young voters and said that they voted in historic numbers and they voted to continue to address the climate crisis, gun violence, their personal rights and freedom, and the student debt relief. Head to BuzzFeedNews.com to read the full story.
So that's just
Many experts predicted a red wave during last week's midterm election.
That's just a clip of the Democrats, these corporate entities giving a shout out to who they think really helped them in the elections, which was Gen Z. Ye still has influence with Gen Z. The others, if you think Nick doesn't have influence with Gen Z, then why is Nick so famous and so important? After being banned, bank account banned, fly list, why is he so successful? He's not successful with older folk. Why is he so? It's a very specific demographic. Yeah, absolutely. But they know how. They are brilliant marketers. Black Pegasus. We got royalty in the house. Black Pegasus says, thank you for stopping by as always. He says, I'm willing to bet Ye could utilize Sneeko, Nick, and Milo to launch Parler or something. True. Nick's takes are a bit wild. Some are super on point. Some a bit stretched. Yep. I would. Who name your favorite personality, especially in alt media, especially someone who's been banned from your major social media platforms? They're all going to be a bit wild and out there and all that. So Black Pete, tell me, do you follow Sneeko? Let me know what you think about Sneeko if you know him. Ye 24. What is Ye 24? Ye 24 is Kanye's launch for his bid for presidency. I should have explained that better. It's a great branding. Very simple. Hashtag Ye24. That's it. Put that on a shirt. And that might be part of it. I'll get into that. The grift of making money. I think that will be part of it. I'm not sure how that works with when you're running for president, how much, where that money goes or what, but I'm sure that's part of it. So this is the video here.
About me asking him to be my vice president.
So Ye comes out and says, Yo, I asked Trump. So Artemis, Empress Artemis, Ye announced he's running for president. Basically, he didn't do like an official statement. It's like this is his launch, I guess. That is part of my problem with him. And he said he's launching that he's running for president. He might hire, to my knowledge, Nick is not officially a camp. Believe this or not, y'all, he's considering hiring Nick Fury as his communications director. Comic Dave Smith, you've got to run, and your comms director has got to be Michael Malice. And man, y'all, 2024 is going to be fun. It's going to be really fun if you're into this kind of stuff. So the rumor is Ye might hire Nick Fury as his communications director. Wow. So that he's running for president, and he's saying, hey, Dandada, do you want to be my vice president? He put a tweet out there. He's like, will Trump say nay, or is this just like something Ye would do? Very funny there. Black Pegvis says, oh no, that's the same one. I thought he was going to follow up if you know Sneeko. So yes, so Ye asked Don Dada, and of course Trump's going to be like, "Come on, bro, what are you talking about? I'm not going to be your vice president." And I think Ye is serious. He's making a joke of it, but he's coming in. It's a joke. He knows Trump's not going to say yes. He's coming in trying to make a statement. It's kind of one of those jokes where it's like, am I supposed to laugh or not? It's one of those type of jokes. Because it's like, this stuff is serious. It's not funny. The feds ran up in Trump's crib. This isn't a joke, but he's making light of it.
The thing that Trump was most perturbed about, me asking him to be my vice president, I think that was like lower on the list of things that...
That's Milo right there with a new haircut. That's Milo right there laughing. And they're in some warehouse or something. Where are they at?
That caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence.
So this lets me to believe, I don't think Trump knew Nick Fury was going to be there. And I'm going to actually give Ye a lot of credit in this, and then I'll get to what I disagree with him on or I don't like from him. He brought in, so what he's saying here is, I'm coming in telling Trump I'm serious. This isn't about me going to Trump and begging him for help or begging him for anything. He's like, this is like Game of Thrones. It's like, I got my dragon, you got your dragon, let's meet. That's why he said that. There's always, a joke isn't funny unless there's some truth to it. Of course there's some truth to it. Ye's like, and the other thing that Ye's saying is, I'm the culture. I'm the king of culture. You're just a politician. Culture is way more powerful. Allegedly, I believe it's in Cassandra's article, or I saw it online. Allegedly, Trump was upset because when they were out, more people were flocking to Ye than to him. Allegedly. I could believe that because Ye has that cultural impact. Trump has some too, but Ye's coming in like, okay, I'm not a politician. I'm not the most versed on these topics. I'm not the smartest, but I've got Nick with me who very much, very, very, very much is. Nick knows how DC works. He's no matter what you think of him, take that aside right now. Very intelligent dude. Very smart. Why do you think they're so scared of him? Why do you think they need to try to take the bank account away from a 20-year-old high school debate nerd? Tell me why you think that would be the case. It's because he's a threat. You don't do that for somebody that you see what they're doing to their political enemies. Why are they doing that to Trump? He's a threat. He's a direct threat to their power. That's why. So he says, I'm coming in. Do you want to be my VP? That sets the tone for the conversation. And then now he brings in Nick. It doesn't sound like Trump knew Nick was coming.
Him to be my vice president. I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard.
So he's Ye. So that's not, like if Ye comes in and says something crazy like that, you're like, okay, it's just Ye. So now he's saying, well, whoa, this is what caught him off guard.
Asking him to be my vice president. I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes.
So he says I walked in with intelligence. Nick Fuentes is probably orders of magnitude smarter or more versed on a lot of these topics than Donald Trump. So now Ye comes to this dinner, or I don't know what, maybe they had a meeting before the dinner. I don't know all the details. But Ye comes to this conversation with someone who is smarter than Trump. Not only smarter than Trump, he's smarter than anyone that Trump has in his circle, potentially. Like Trump's got Cash in there and Navarro, but are they right there with Trump? I don't think so. Who does Trump bring to the dinner? I don't know. I have to look there. I forget. I think Cassandra might have mentioned everybody was there. I'll have to read the article again. But I don't know. Trump, from what I've seen, Trump didn't have anybody as smart as this guy. So now Ye comes in saying, you want to be on my ticket? Oh, and then Trump's like, probably. It doesn't sound like Trump was aware of this. I gotta digress a little bit. Who are the staffers for Trump? Who's like the chief of staff right now for him? He's got to be more prepared. He's got to be like, I'm not Don Dada. You can't meet with Ye without being prepared to meet with Ye. It looked like he met with Ye and underestimated how serious Ye was. And doesn't look like he was ready for it. Who's the if you're going to meet with Ye, and we all knew Ye was going to run, I believe that leaked before this, you got to have somebody there who's versed in topics and, politically, strategically. I don't know who that is for Trump right now. I don't know who it is. Bannon's too big to be, and I don't know what their relationship is now. They fell out at one point a little bit. But Trump's got to be, it seems like Trump was less prepared for this than Ye was. That's just my impression. Because this is one of the smartest political minds out there right now. I watched a lot of hours of Nick. He's one of the smart that I've seen. I don't know everybody in D.C. and all that. But, so if Ye's coming with him and he's on Ye's side, and this is a America First guy, a guy who's all pro-Trump. So that's concerning if Trump was not ready for that. You're not ready to be president if you're not ready to meet with Ye.
And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is.
So he's saying that when Trump ran in 2020, he didn't have a good group around him. That's why he relied too much on Pence. Pandemic was terrible, and he didn't really stick with the people he had already pushed Bannon away. Trump made some very big mistakes on who Ye's saying, he's saying, Don Dada, you made some serious mistakes in 2020. You didn't have the right people around you. Now I got one of your biggest supporters from 2016. Nick is still, from what I've seen, is still a Trump supporter, but less so after 2020. He's said that even to Destiny. So Ye's like, I want you to run with me. I'm bringing in a guy smarter than anyone you have around you, other than Navarro, Bannon, but I don't know where they are. Cash, I don't know how close they are to him. And then he used to be a loyalist for you. And he's a Gen Z marketing genius with specific demographics. This is not about changing the minds of the Gen Zers that voted for Fetterhead or Fetterbump and Katie Hobbs and whoever. We are so far beyond changing anybody's mind. This is not about changing anybody's mind. This is about bringing out people that didn't come out for you, is what, from the Gen Z standpoint. So Ye's like, I got one of your biggest loyalists, a guy who, if you don't know, Nick is also an organizer. So he's a smart dude. He's a great marketer. And he also brings people out into the streets. He can get people out to vote. He could sway an election. He has in the past with his power. So Ye's like, I'm serious here.
Actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is.
Then he has Milo. Marjorie Taylor Greene had Milo on. I guess he's not with Marjorie Taylor Greene anymore. I don't know. But he has Milo there, too, who was a big 2016 Trump person. So Ye's trying to bring this back to 2016. You can tell.
You'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done, there are loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said...
So that's an attack on Trump to say that we can argue that or not, but that's Ye trying to come in and say, you failed here. Tucker did the same thing. Tucker criticized Trump on the J6 handling. I don't want to get sidetracked too much into that, but you see they're trying to poke at some weaknesses of Trump.
Said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from.
Now look at the difference between DeSantis trying to come at Trump with Paul Ryan and Meghan McCain behind him. Not that DeSantis has endorsed or accepted their endorsement, but Ye is coming at Trump with like, I'm like what you were in 2016. That's a much stronger message than DeSantis, who's like, F the MAGA movement, basically. That's just my opinion. He hasn't come out and said that. His silence, to me, says everything.
The January 6ers.
DeSantis isn't saying anything like this.
And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step.
Allegedly, Karen was at the dinner as well.
Go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from. He basically gives me this would-be mob-esque kind of story, talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby.
Well, politics is mobby, and he's a king. I mean, he beat Hillary C. So he can talk about mob-type stuff in the aspects of politics, so I don't know where he's going with that.
Whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim.
Kim, if you don't know, Kim wanted to get, Kim, this was a project of Kim Kardashian, and Ye's gonna say Trump did it for him, not for Kim.
But he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a... You could tell her I said that. And I was thinking, like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know...
So that was censored. Trump said something negative about Kim.
Say that Kim is a... You could tell her I said that. And I was thinking, like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know...
Notice he did the Christian. Ye should be running on the platform of, I'm a Christian, nationalist. That's his platform. I'm a Christian nationalist, and I don't care about race. That should be his platform. I don't want to hear blackity black out of him. I don't want to hear anything about religious people, beginning with J. Don't want to hear that out of him. I just want him to talk about be true to who you are. And I don't know why he's bringing up. Why did he bring up Kim Kardashian? That's one of the biggest problems I have with him. His message is so sloppy. I think he brought her up because he thinks Gen Z is into drama, maybe, and that will help the video trend. But his message is not clear. Trump calling Kim Kardashian a B or whatever else, that's based. You probably agree with him. And at the end of the day, Ye, keep your message on this. Keep your message about my freedoms. Same feedback I gave to Candace Owens. Donald Trump allegedly said something bad about Candace Owens personally. Candace, I don't give a damn. That's between you and Trump. That had nothing to do with me. I don't care. If you if you are talking to me about something, it better be about my God D freedoms. That's all I care about. So yay, I don't care about you and Kim and Trump saying something bad about Kim. We all know what Kim is. She did a show that showed. I'm not saying she's not smart. I'm not saying she's not a great marketer, but we know what her personality is. Trump was based. So I don't care about your feeling. I don't blame you for being upset or whatever, but it ain't got nothing to do with me. This is like your yay 224. Why is that clouding the message? And when you look at the video, there's too much going on. Just make the message simple. And this is the best part of it. And he didn't really highlight it. So he's got to learn from his first failed run where he was just sloppy all over the place. Talking about black this and black. Nobody cares about that. If somebody wants to talk about black this or this identity that, then they'll vote Democrat. So here's this should be his message. I'm a Christian nationalist.
Mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose, at me at the table telling me I was going to lose. I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history?
You're going to lose. Tell him he's going to lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump. You're talking to Ye.
Sorry, I was on mute there. I'm coughing. Should get some cough drops or something. The last bit that I think I was on mute for is Ye's got to focus on the Christian nationalist message. And bringing up Kim is a sidetrack. Bringing up J6 is fine, but it's a sidetrack. If Ye is running for president, then he just needs to say, here's what I am at first. Then you can bring in J6, you can bring in other things, but he needs to run, and that's Nick's always been a Ye fan. Nick's a huge Ye fan. If you listen to his show, he intros with Ye. So what and I think the attraction there is Ye is, he says, hey, I'm a Christian now. And that's not Donald Trump. So Nick might actually have more of a like, hey, Ye can bring the same qualities. Let me see if I can do this. But at the end of the day, none of them think at this moment that Ye is going to win. So when Ye talks about, hey, Trump said I can't win, Ye knows he can't win. He's not going to go in believing that, though. He's going to believe that he can win, but he knows that's a long shot. What he's looking to do is position himself as, you need me. Whether it's Gen Z or whatever it is, you need me. Because if you look at an election, there are many people that might like Ye who could get pressured into, well, Trump is this, that. Nick, you could say this person is this, that, so you have to vote for Kamala Harris. I've refused. There's no way they're going to do Joe Biden. But if it was Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, I think Mayor Pete Buttigieg is probably a high candidate. They're going to have to fight it out. Kamala doesn't like Mayor Pete. Mayor Pete doesn't like Kamala. That could get really ugly. And then Gavin Newsom and whoever else. You could say, hey, you can't vote for Trump. You've got to vote for this other person. And if Ye is in there, instead of voting the Democrat, they might vote for Ye. And even if some people who would have voted for Trump would vote for Ye, Ye's fine with that because that gives him power. So that means Trump would have to work with him, work something out, make him part of the team somehow. They'll have to work something out. It's not much different than what I talk about with the Libertarians versus MAGA versus the Republicans. You saw what happened, Mark Victor, Blake Masters. You've got to be able to negotiate something to get the Libertarians out of the race if you don't want them there, Republicans. That's the whole point of the Libertarians being there. It's to get political power, to get leverage. So the big problem I have with this is Ye's message is just too sloppy. He's got to narrow it down. This is what I am, and I think it's great. I think it's a great message to be like, I'm a Christian nationalist, and the relationship with Nick makes so much more sense with that. Let me take a look at the comments here. I believe I sent the link out to Che. I think he said he's going to get the mic and everything ready. Honey, yeah, I know. I didn't get a chance to do tea. I had coffee, but I didn't get a chance to do tea. Read the comments. Yeah, I know. Sorry, the mic is muted. Yeah, I haven't done that in a while. Sorry about that. Let's take a look at some of the comments before I had the mic muted. Ye has no chance of winning. Friend of show Bishop says, thank you. Yeah, he has no chance of winning, but does he have a chance? Don't look at it from that standpoint. And people said Trump didn't have a chance of winning also. So let's never say never, but I agree with that. Let's look at it from this standpoint, Bishop. Would you say that Ye has a chance of getting power within that realm? Enough power. Well, he already has enough power where Trump had to meet with them for dinner. So, yeah. Black Pegasus says, 20 Kevron, not sure if it's racism or just tribalism that's embedded in us all. That's a tough one for me to pinpoint. Let's see. So let me talk about the racist side of Nick F here. So I listened to him. Bryson Gray just talked about it a little bit on his Twitter feed. I'll bring up that tweet from him real quick. Bryson Gray knows him as much as anybody. He was featured in a Bryson Gray video, believe it or not, a cool video, a song called Happy, I believe. And here's a tweet from Bryson Gray. So I don't know, Nick. I don't need to be friends with these people, so I don't know. I'm not looking for that. But he does. He knows them. And Bryson Gray says, so don't take his word, whatever I think very highly of Bryson Gray. He says, Nick Fury is my friend, really my friend, like in real life. Can't be that racist. It's interesting he said that racist. So he's maybe just a little bit racist. I'm not, those labels mean nothing to me. I'm not labeling anybody racist. I'm not labeling anybody anti-Sem. I don't like those terms. All they are is an attempt to exert power and then to ignore the specific issues. If you got a specific issue with Nick, say what it is. And I'll give you an example. I watch Nick a lot. The closest that I've seen him come to being what you could call racist is he will look at the crime statistics and he will say, based on the crime statistics, black people are more inherently violent than other races. And you can label that racist if you want to, that's fine. But the way I look at it is, I think it's a take that I disagree with. And I keep it moving to, does he have other topics and things to talk about? And let me text my wife right now. Does he have other topics to talk about that make it worth listening to? And is that one that I disagree with well thought out enough? So I don't have a problem. Personally, I don't have a problem with Nick on that. And Bryson agrees on that too. He just says, Bryson says, I don't agree with Nick on that, but I can still roll and rock with him. We got YouTube royalty. No Spoon Podcast is getting Mike ready as we speak right now. So I'm interested to hear his take on it, get some perspective here. And I'm going to just chat him real quick and say, make sure he's ready. Make sure I don't put him on camera. I put Ray on camera before he was ready one time from the show Ray Studios. So I'm gonna chat him there and let's see if he's ready. We'll get it going. Is that fair, y'all? If you want to call Nick racist for that, I'm trying to think. There's nothing. They use the N word in their chat a lot, but they use it just kind of like how I use it, just to use it to make it has no meaning. So that definitely isn't going to be why I call him racist. But if does anybody have anything else? I listen to him a lot. People call him anti-Sem because he does call out and mention that's not my style. I don't do that. I don't agree with him on it. He does call out the religion with the J, and in a very similar manner to Ye does. And I think it's I don't agree with Ye and Nick doing that, but I just think it's weird how instead of just letting the nonsense go, you kind of try to cancel them, and it almost reinforces their thought. It's just, why would you do that? So I think the reaction to them is worse. Let's bring up Jay No Spoon podcast representing. What's good? Let's do a sound check. Do we have a mic on? I think you're muted. There you go.
How about now? Can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah, loud and clear. Let's go. Good morning, sir.
Oh, man.
What's good? Nothing. Just Ye and Nick Fury in the airport walking to meet with Don Dada. Nothing much going on.
Yeah, nothing major,
huh? Nothing culturally going on. Just the day after Thanksgiving. But hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. I don't know if you celebrated or not, but how that?
Yeah, definitely, man. Anytime there's food, I'm there.
Yeah, good. Yeah, but what's your thoughts, man, on Ye and all this stuff going down?
I love it. I think it's good. I think anytime that we're kind of like hitting on those topics that nobody really wants to touch on, and we're kind of putting people's feet to the fire, I think it's a good thing. I think that you know, especially after what we just saw in this last election, especially after everything that's going on with Twitter, social media, you know, Trump running again, all these different things, I think it's good because I think, you know, fire cleanses things. And so when we put people to the fire, I think it's going to cleanse a lot of different things that maybe, you know, I think it's a good thing. I love it. I think there are things about Kanye I'm not really 100% on board with him. I'm not 100% behind, as you called him, Nick Fury. I'm not 100% behind Milo and all these guys. But at the same time, you know, I think it's good to get everybody that's canceled. Now, if Ye goes and gets, Alex J, I think it's even the internet will explode. You know what I mean? He'll really break the internet with that. But I think it's good. I mean, it's good because it forces people to have tough conversations. I love the things that he talked about when he said he had a meeting with Trump. I love that he pushed back on a lot of different things. I'm with it, man. I'm all the way with it.
Yes, and you mentioned that, hey, I'm the same way. I'm not with anybody 100% on anything. Are we in a world where it's important for these figures to exert some political power from using to me, it's like they're using their cultural impact, Ye specifically, and then trying to convert it into political power? And to me, if you want the Overton window to shift, it's all been shifting left. I don't know how else you think it's going to shift the other way if you don't got people on the other side. I mean, that's how I look at it.
Well, people on the right got to learn how to play this game. And I've said this, I just did a video on this not too long ago when I talked about Trump and my feelings on Trump and my feelings, and I think you and I have talked about it before. My feelings on Trump has changed over the past couple of years. But I really think that where the left wins is that they put a lot of emphasis into culture. And as you know, Andrew Breitbart said that politics is downstream of culture. Culture really influences politics. And I truly believe that. And I think that there's not enough emphasis on culture. There's not enough emphasis to really infiltrate and put your values out there. And so we're stuck with a one-sided take, and what you're really doing is, see, there's a group of people, and this is a very large group of people, that they don't care about politics. They don't care about anything about Ye other than his next album, what fashion he's wearing. Um, all that type of stuff is the only thing that matters to them. And so they're very easily influenced by whatever is posted on the Shade Room, or whatever is posted by their favorite comedian or actor or celebrity or Megan Thee Stallion or whatnot. That's it. That's all they care about. And so the left really, they hit that issue really hard. They hit that side hard in the culture war. And that's why they're winning. And that's why they get people to get out there and vote. And then there's a whole lot of other things, ballot harvesting, those type of things. But I think that is good. I think the only way that you're going to be able to win, and I've said this in my last video that I posted on my channel, that you're never going to win another election until you take the culture seriously. And so, Ye, my, Sneeko in particular, Andrew Tate, these type of individuals, they're very influential culturally. And so that's going to influence people at the ballot box. And I think that this is a good thing, man. I'm all the way for it.
Yeah. Do you know about Sneeko? How much are you familiar?
So just the other day, I watched the interview that they did on No Jumper. If you're not familiar with No Jumper and Adam 22, and which is basically a hip hop channel, and it's one of the biggest hip hop channels out here in LA. And so they had Sneeko and Nick Fury on there, which was it. And actually, if I would recommend watching it, because they pressed Nick on a lot of his views. And
they had Nick on there too.
He was on there.
They had Nick on No Jumper.
On No Jumper for an hour and a half. This was about a month ago, actually.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I just found it the other day. I found it the other day on YouTube. So it was actually a really good interview, because they pressed him on a lot of the things that he said, and he gave a lot of context to it. He debunked a lot of the things that they said that were, inflammatory, or, what they call racist or whatnot. And he kind of just gave context to it. And I really, the one thing I respect about him, I don't agree with a lot of the things that he says, right? I don't. But what I do respect about him is that he stands on what he says. He doesn't back down from it. So, and Sneeko was on there too. That was the first time I had ever really seen Sneeko, and I think I went and looked at a few other things that he has done. But I think that these people are they can be very influential, man. Milo too. And I'm not a big fan of Milo. There's some things that have come out saying that Milo's just an opportunist and he's a grifter and all these type of things. And I know he used to be. I know he's like a recovering gay or something. I don't know, something like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's like I said recovering, but that's what
that's
he
in
said.
his. I think that's
that's
what he said. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really know. I just think it's very interesting that you're getting all these people together, all these people with different points of views and controversial points of views. And my thing is this: anytime anybody is banned, anytime anybody is labeled as being controversial, anytime anybody is censored, there's a reason for it. And I'm of the belief that the establishment has an agenda, and anybody that speaks out on their agenda, they're going to label it any of the different things that you see. Racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic, all these different things. And so it's good that we get these people together and we start hearing what they're saying, because they've been silenced for so long.
Yeah, and there's a reason why they're silenced. Like, this is not an accident. This is not something that's just arbitrary. They specifically know who has power, and they silenced a dude who's I think Nick's still in his 20s. He's a 20-something. He's 24. He's a 24
crazy, yeah.
Geeky debate dude guy who puts on shades and is awkward socially, admittedly, tries to sell himself as an incel. Why would he be on the no-fly list? He's never broken the law. Why would they shut down his bank account? So we need to ask these, whether he is all these labels or not. We need to start asking these questions, because they did the same thing to Ye. Alex Jones got sued. So at what point does this stop? So I want all the ideas out there. If you got a bad idea, I'm going to say it's a bad idea and then keep moving. If you got too many bad ideas, then I probably won't mess with you. So I hear people Yeah. What did you pick up from Sneeko in that interview, if you remember, or no?
Well, Sneeko was really Sneeko. I guess Sneeko was the one that put that interview together.
Mm,
He's the
mm,
one, and he was saying that it was Sneeko was trying to say is that he felt like Nick needs to be incorporated into hip hop culture. He feels
mhm,
that some of the things that Nick, his ideas are important, that hip hop embraces him, and I guess Nick is a big Ye fan, so
oh
that's why
yeah.
he put it together. Him and put brought Adam 22 and the whole No Jumper. It was Adam 22 was on there. Obviously he's the one who runs No Jumper. AD and Poetic Flacco, which Poetic Flacco I didn't know who was he's a he was saying that he was a conservative and that he was really talking bad. He called white liberals the white devil. He was
Mm,
saying things like that. That's
mhm,
basically what so it was kind of crazy. I never really seen that side of them. But he is also a big a promote from what I understand. This is just based on the interview that I've seen that he's kind of a supporter of Tariq Nasheed and them.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, I think Sneeko was just he was trying to debunk a lot of the I guess the the what's the word I'm looking for? The views that people have of Nick. You know what I mean? And trying to get people to say that, "Well, I know they said this, but explain that." So he was really just doing that. But I've never really um
mm.
seen a lot of Sneeko stuff, to be honest with you. Other than that
Okay.
and a couple things.
Yeah, I'll research him more. I've seen a lot of Destiny. It's interesting. Destiny has been intermingling with Nick and Sneeko and them. I think what they're trying to do is expand their reach. So they're like,
Yeah.
okay, I've got this group of people that rock with me. They're labeled as this or labeled as that. But how do I get into a bigger reach? Let's talk about hip hop for a second.
Hmm.
Knows hip hop. I've kind of fell out of touch with hip hop, and the reason why, Che, is part of the reason why is because I always thought hip hop was a form of rebellion in a way.
Hmm.
It was definitely mostly young, you could say black males, urban, telling their stories and telling the stories of what rejection of the narrative that we're told from up above or whoever else. And now I don't see that as much. There's still underground artists, but it seems like that's been squelched more and more. And that's why I've liked more people like Black Pegasus in the chat and Bryson Gray and Eric July, people who are like, I'll say what I mean, I'll mean what I say, and I'll say whatever the hell I want. And hip hop has kind of lost that. Do you see any type of connection with, because now you got Nick with Ye? How does Nick fit within like hip hop culture or hip hop?
Um. Well, I mean, like you said, hip hop has always been kind of fringe. It's always been it's been the outlier of the mainstream, and then nobody is more outside of the mainstream than Nick right now, right? So I don't see how that's um I kind of see the correlation between the two. The thing that's gonna trip Nick up is some of his views, and when those
Hmm.
but at the same time, see, here's the thing. This is why we have to talk about these things, right? This is why we have to have these conversations and let people speak. Nick doesn't believe anything that Dr. Umar Johnson, anything different than what he believes. He doesn't believe anything different than what the Nation of Islam believes. So it's like, you know, you kind of have to be able to say to give people their space. And I think when we sit down as especially as men, as we sit down, we can have a better understanding and say that, you know what, that's what you believe. That's fine. I don't care if that's what you're going to do over there. That's fine, as long as it doesn't kind of impose on my lifestyle and what I do. I don't agree with his take on race mixing, but I understand it. You know what I mean? I respect people whose desire to do so and why and his purpose for why he desires to do it. Whether you're white, black, Hispanic, whatever it is you are, that's fine. You know what I mean? I don't. That doesn't bother me. I'm not threatened by that. So it's like I think just being letting people have the platform to be able to say why they believe the things that they believe. But I mean, you know, hip hop to me is the most, and I've said this plenty of times. Hip hop to me is the most influential uh culture that's ever existed. And I say ever existed because of the time that we live in, for one, the way that we were able to communicate. But I mean, it just is. It's crossed so many different lines. I mean, you see it before, when I was young and growing up, didn't have the impact that it does now. It doesn't, to put it simply, like white kids didn't listen to hip hop when I was growing up. Now they do. Now everybody listens to hip hop. I went to, like, I've told this story many different times, but it's like, you know, and most, I don't know if your viewers know, but like I spent a significant amount of time incarcerated for 15 years of my life, and when I came home, things were different. It was 2003 when I left. It was 2018 when I came back, and I remember doing security at a Luke Bryan concert. And in between sets, they were playing Drake, and I was seeing, and the crowd. This was at Dodger Stadium, where the crowd was like 98% white, and people were rapping along to Drake songs. And I was kind of like, I was taken back. It was like a cultural shock to me. I was like, these people know this song, and that's when I really started to open my eyes and be like, hip hop is so much bigger than it was before and when I was growing up. So this is what the left has been able to do, is that they have infused themselves into hip hop because they understand how big it is. So, I don't like a lot of the music now. I don't listen to a lot of it because I don't think that we should support some of the stuff that they're talking about, but I think it is important that we take it back. And we take it back and we give it, and it goes back to what it's supposed to be, which was talking about the stories and the struggles, but also with a positive twist on it and how we can use it to empower ourselves.
Yeah, so when you look at the meeting, I'm going to go to the article in a second, but when you go to the meeting of Ye meeting with Trump, this is so much different than, when was the last time they met? Remember when they gave Dap, he was wearing the Make America Great Again hat. Was that 2016? Around
I
that
think
time.
it was after he was president, right?
Oh, it was after he was president. So around
Yeah.
that time, after Trump had won, and then they made fun of him on Saturday Night Live,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
in a whole, now they're meeting again on a big scale, and it's on a whole different power level. I think Ye's coming in thinking, just like Chase said, I've got millions of I got millions of people, young people who know the lyrics to my song. They don't know the intricacies of your China tariffs debate and the impact on the American job market. They don't know that, but they know the lyrics of my song. So when I'm coming to you, do you want to be my vice president, Trump? I think that's why he's saying that, right?
Let me say this before we go on. And I was looking at it last night. I was looking at all the tweets that Ye had put out, right? And I think it was you mentioned her a minute ago, but she's with Timcast. What's her name?
Cassandra McDonald. Mm-hmm.
Cassandra McDonald, and she said, and she put out a tweet, and it was a video of Ye taking pictures with a bunch of people, and she was saying people don't underestimate how popular this guy is. And I know a lot of people looking and they say, well, this is just a publicity stunt. This is just Ye wanting attention and this and that. But honestly, man, Ye can win. I'm not saying I support him or anything like that, and I don't know yet, and I don't really care about where we're at for 2024 yet, and who I think should be who I would vote for or anything like that. But I think Ye can. Yeah, that's the one right there. I think Ye can win. Remember, nobody thought Trump was going to win. When Trump made his announcement, he came down the escalator in 2015. Everybody just wrote it off and laughed about it and said this is a joke. But then Trump started talking about things that I think people talked about in the privacy of their own home or amongst their friend circles, but never outspoken in the mainstream conversation. He started talking about things that politicians never talked about. He started talking about immigration. He started talking about the a lot of the manufacturing stuff. He started talking about a lot of the things that you just weren't allowed to talk about, that nobody talked about. Well, Ye's doing the same thing. The topics may have changed. They may have shifted to other things that are taboo as well that we're not allowed to talk about. And he's wildly popular. So, I mean, there was people that said that this was a joke when Trump ran, and look what happened. And I think that Ye can win. I wouldn't take him. I think it would be foolish of any other politician, including Trump, to not take him seriously.
Yeah, and this is the video Chay's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And Ye retweeted it from Cassandra McDonald. And here it is, him just getting dapped.
Hey, can I get a photo?
can you keep doing what you're doing, bro? So if you're just listening, hey, let's go, boys. Come on, let's go right now. It's Ye taking pictures with a family. Looks like at a bar or someplace, hotel bar looking bar. Ye's dressed in an American flag jacket. Right here. Hey, right here. Ready, boys. Let's go. Right now. So that's basically the gist of the video there, and I'll just keep it playing in the background. So, I mean, that's the power that Ye has. Who's a more popular? So I look at this as if I took a random sampling of 100 people in the country from rural areas, from Alaska, Hawaii, from Iowa, from California, how many people I would be willing to put money on the table that 99 out of the 100 people would be able to name Trump and Ye both. Who else would be on that list? Obama?
Yeah, I mean Obama, but the thing with that is that the people that would vote for Obama would never vote for Trump or Ye. You know what I mean? The loyalists.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we're talking about two different sides of the coin there, and I don't think that those people are going to ever be able to. Some of those people aren't going to be able to coincide with each other. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Ye, man, is that he has so much crossover appeal. You know what I mean? And that may be the thing that, like you said, the what is it, the Gen Xers, the Gen Zers or whatever, he can appeal to that maybe Trump can't. The non-whites that Trump can't appeal to, Ye can. I just think I'm not saying he's going to win, but I think he can. You know what I mean? Um, I just say that a lot of people didn't think that Trump was going to win. Everybody had the same feeling too when Trump came in, and I know Trump has been, always talking about running for president and this and that, and had his hand or his voice in the conversation. But um, I mean, you can say the same about Ye, really. I mean,
Yeah.
especially in the last 5-6 years, he's always said something.
We would be fools if we were up here telling you Ye can't win. That would be foolish. I would say it's fair to say it's a long shot, just like Trump was. But I think you're right. I'm getting vibes of Ye being more like Trump 2016 than Trump is. So I don't know.
Well, I don't think we're going to see that Trump of 2016. I think that Trump of 2016 is gone.
Whoa.
That's just my opinion.
Whoa. Don't say, don't. No, that's great. I want to hear it. Don't just drop that bomb and go. Why do you say that?
So, and I know, like I said, I just did a video on this, so you could really catch. It's about 30 minutes long on my YouTube channel. But so there's an interesting thing that happened that if you see what Ye talked about in one of the videos that he posted, right, and he talked about the January 6ers, right. I think Trump has to, like I said, we got to put his feet to the fire here, because the reality is this, and a lot of people don't like to talk about it, and they don't want to, especially a lot of people that are loyal to Trump. But there was a significant amount of people that went down there on January 6th, right? And whatever happened January 6th, your take on it is your take on it. But the reality is they went down there because they believed that Trump was right in what he was saying. He was right. They believed that he had evidence, and this was something that he was saying. This is something that his attorneys, Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, Rudy Giuliani, this is what they were all saying. And the reality is this: nobody has ever seen that evidence. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not saying that they don't know something that we don't know, but the reality is we have not seen it. We, the people, and there's people that did something on his behalf, and on his behalf because they believed that he had something that was going to make it all right, that was going to justify their actions on that day. And the reality is we never saw it. So and there was a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that got done very, very wrong in that whole situation, and not just people that even got convicted. I know personally who had their house raided by the FBI, had 20 FBI agents come into their house at 6 o'clock in the morning and took all their electronics and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that happen in that situation, and a lot of people got thrown under the bus. And then afterwards, he stopped talking about it. Even in his latest, and my thing is if you know that they did something, and you know that there's something out there concrete and it's going to blow this whole thing open, why would you stop talking about it? And then what he started talking about is things that maybe his base is not really cool with. He started talking about Operation Warp Speed. And he talks about that more than anything. He talks about how that's one of the greatest achievements of mankind. And that Operation Warp Speed led to a lot of different things: mandates, people losing their jobs, losing their livelihood. And he hasn't said anything about that. And I think he has to take some kind of culpability for that. And he hasn't. So the reality is, I don't think that Trump of 2016 is ever going to come back because, and this is just my opinion, something happened between January 6th and today. What happened, I don't know. My personal opinion is that there was something that was going to take place. I think it involved him, and I think it involved his family, and I think it involved criminal charges. And somewhere down the line, Trump said, "Don't worry, I'll make it all go away." That's just my opinion.
Wow, that's deep. I mean I think that's a great comment, and I've heard from them in particular that, like we're talking about Nick, Milo, others like that were with him 2016, saying that exact same thing, that something's different, something feels different. And so I wonder if part of it too is them pushing him in that direction, is an attempt to do that.
Who would push it?
Well, well, Ye, Nick, Milo, Sneeko, all of them trying to push Trump, because I don't know if they feel like I think they think it's a long shot, but at the very least they could push him more. Well, do you think that would push him more back into the 2016 direction or no?
I just personally don't think he's going to go back there. I think you know, let me just be blunt about it. I think Trump sold out.
Wow.
I think that he flipped and he sold out. I think that I think somebody talked to him and told him this is what can possibly be the implications of what took place, because the reality is listen, I know how the system works and how the government works and how law works. They can frame things how they want to frame it and get you how they want to get you. Right. I don't think it's an advantage for them to get rid of Trump. I think they need Trump because Trump draws out people like you and I. They draw out the people that have these type of ideologies that go against their whole agenda, and they need to have him around to find out who those people are. Without him, we don't exist. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that you know, it's in their interest to keep Trump around, keep him running for president, keep him in the conversation like he's been the last 2 years. However, I just saw a complete shift, and I think that, like you said, if they're trying to lead him in that direction, the Nick, the Milos, the Sneekos, and things like that, that's because Trump is the one that initiated it. Trump is the one. Listen, we all have to just be real here. Trump told us that he had something. You see what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
if I go down there and I raise hell because I believe in this cause and I believe in this man, and I believe that at the end of the day, whatever I'm doing here on this day, at wherever it's at the Capitol, the White House, whatever you're talking about in Washington, D.C., whatever I do, it's justified because there's something there that's going to exonerate all of us, and it's going to blow the roof off this whole system. And then you just leave us with nothing, and then you go and you start talking about, Operation Warp Speed, which is, regardless of how you want to put it, but that is a product of this whole agenda. This is the World Economic Forum is behind it. The Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, they're the ones that are pushing all this stuff, and you're the guy that brought it in, and now that's what you keep talking about. You don't talk about what happened in November of 2020. You don't talk about that anymore, even though you said, I got it. I'm gonna prove it. They cheated, even though we all saw and this is my thing. There was so many anomalies that happened. Right now, you stop counting votes and the mail-in stuff that was a product of COVID, which we all know is kind of manufactured, and all this kind of set up the perfect storm and the perfect recipe to be able to pull this off. And then we all saw these things happen, and we're all going, something's not right here. Maybe if one of those things happened, yeah, we can kind of write that off. But all these things happen, and then we had the guy that is sitting here saying, I mean, he gave that speech at what 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning of that night, and saying, in fact, we won this election. That's what he said. And then people really believed this and said that he was going to exonerate. Like I said, whether that information doesn't exist or it does exist, the reality is he never presented it and he never used it to get these people off. So I love the fact when Ye and Nick and them is saying, why didn't you do anything about these people? And I know a lot of J6ers, and I've talked to them, and a lot of them are not feeling him right now. I'm talking about Trump.
Wow.
They're not. You know what I mean? Because of that situation. Because I mean, I would feel the same way, man.
Yeah.
I'm sitting over here going to jail because of something that I really believed, and you never brought it out. And now you want to talk about, Bill Gates' agenda.
Yeah, it's a problem. And so for me, this avenue to criticize him is much better than because DeSantis isn't going to do this exactly the same way. So I don't want to get off too much on that tangent, but I respect this criticism here. I respect it. I think it's going to be something he has to overcome. Let's go to the article. They still have her maiden name here, but Cassandra Fairbanks last night released this exclusive details. Now, I think she released this quickly because there were rumors from the Daily Beast, I believe, that Nick wasn't there. So I don't know who's doing that, if it was Trump or Kanye shared some text messages. They think it was Jason Miller. But this article here was to debunk the Daily Beast article. Exclusive details. Ye brings Nick Fury and Karen DiGiorno to dinner with Trump. And it kind of breaks down everything that happened here. So, Che, you would jump in if anything kind of stands out to you. But the dinner between Ye and Trump had been previously arranged, but the additional guests were brought on by author and political commentator Milo, who has been named by the fashion and entertainment mogul as his campaign director. So let's stop here. We have the official, Kanye already announced it, that Milo is his campaign director, somebody who was a loyalist. Is it fair to describe him as a loyalist 2016? I think so, with Trump, at least pro-Trump.
And he was just on Timcast a few weeks ago promoting Trump, basically. You know what I mean? In fact, he was promoting. The conversation was about Trump or DeSantis, and he was just basically saying DeSantis has no shot. It's got to be Trump. It's got to be Trump. And now he's on board with Ye, which is interesting. And then there's a whole bunch of it's so much messy stuff going on, man, because there's the stuff with Candace Owens and her husband and those allegations that have came up. But I don't want to get too far off of, but I mean, Milo is another polarizing figure. I mean, he's these YouTubers, man, are they push the line. I love it though. I think we should. I heard some of the things Milo was talking about, and that was really the first time when he was on Timcast the other day, the first time that I really listened to Milo, and I was like, wow, you know what I mean? This is there's not a lot that I disagreed with.
Yeah, and he's very eloquent. He has a way with words. Look at his presentation here. This is a clip I'm going to play. This is Milo on with Timcast. He's got a fashion flair to him. He fits with Ye, but he knows the politics. Ye doesn't know the politics. He needs people with him. So here's a little bit of a clip. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but here's a taste of, hey, what do you think about Trump versus DeSantis?
Trump or Ron DeSantis? That's going to be the big debate here as well.
I don't think anybody is seriously in favor of DeSantis unless they're paid to be.
I strongly disagree with you on that, but that's going to be a topic we're going to be discussing here in a little bit.
If you're on Meghan McCain's side, you're on the wrong side.
I don't think I'm
no lie. Well, I don't think Luke is on that side, but no lies detected
on Meghan McCain's side at all. But more importantly here, there is something to say about this performance in the face of economic inflation, lockdowns, crime waves, which seems like it wasn't really affecting the election results. There's also the fact that a lot of Trump-endorsed candidates didn't win. Trump's attacking some of them right now, and the ones that he did,
Trumpian candidates,
and then the ones he attacked won.
There are some examples of that. The problem here, I felt a bit icky seeing Trump whine about the consultants. It didn't seem like a kind of alpha dog daddy thing that we're used to from Trump. Seemed a little bit pathetic. And my hope is that he will announce soon and get his mojo back, because at the same time as he's taking these very light touch, teasing pot shots at DeSantis, who has zero chance of succeeding. Look, DeSantis is almost as popular as Trump in some bits of Florida, but don't ask them to choose, because he is gone the second they have to choose between him and Trump.
Preach.
Don't get it twisted, okay?
Don't do it, bro.
He has no chance. It is not happening.
But you think even in
I
Miami
disagree.
and Tampa,
wrong.
Trump wasn't able to flip those districts.
You're out of your mind if you think that somebody with the charisma of a potted cactus can go up against Donald Trump and not end as just another casualty on the list. You're out of your mind. And looking at the...
So that's all I'll play from it. But you know what? Now that I'm looking back at that again, Che, now knowing all this stuff, I'm looking at it from the standpoint, I didn't hear anything in that interview from Milo that said that he didn't want to challenge Trump. He just said DeSantis surely wasn't the right one. So looking back at it, he might have wanted to challenge Trump a little bit, but he needed somebody with that charisma, the flair, the personality, the ability to go, people know me, people know you, heads up. You can say whatever you want about Ron DeSantis, but Ron DeSantis is like a pea compared to an elephant when it comes to people in the country that don't follow politics. Who do they know, Ye or DeSantis?
Oh, they know Ye.
Yeah.
It's easy. I think it's crazy because I'm sitting there watching this and I'm looking at it from, like you said, a whole different perspective based on what we know now, and I just think that politics has become, it's so sensationalized, right? I mean, you look at the people like Sneeko, you look at Nick, you look at Milo, and they're very over the top. You know what I mean? They're very over the top, but that's kind of what you need these days, especially with the internet, especially with YouTube, especially with just this whole social media stuff. It's like these are the situations that being a YouTuber myself and yourself being a YouTuber. It's almost like it's really not my personality to be as flamboyant and over the top as some of these people are. But then when you look at numbers and analytics, like I'm sure you do, and because we both have a show and this is what we do, and we look and we say, well, how come over here they're getting these numbers and I'm over here only doing these numbers? And the reason is because I'm not willing to do some of the things that these people are doing. This is just the nature of living in this now social media world that we all live in, is that the more over the top you are, the more controversial you are, the more hot takes that you can give. It doesn't matter your substance. It matters what entertainment value you bring. Ron DeSantis doesn't bring the same entertainment value as Trump. Neither does he bring the same entertainment value that Ye brings. You know what I mean? Or Milo, or Nick, or Sneeko. I mean, this is why these people are popular. This is why they're doing, millions of subscribers on these channels, and this is why I'm not. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to wear these goofy shades like he's wearing. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, but this is the era that we're living in. So I understand what he's saying. The reason why Trump got so popular is not because of what he was saying, it was also because of how he was saying it, the way he was going about it. And Ye is talking about issues that, regardless of what you think, or what you think that is right or wrong when it comes to what he's been talking about, there's a lot of people that believe it. And then when they go and they cancel him from everything, and they do like Kyrie Irving the same thing, it kind of validates everything that they're saying. And so it's kind of like, well, finally here's somebody who's going to speak up and who's going to say this. He's got the same type of thing, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think Milo kind of sees it. In my opinion, it looks like it.
Yeah. And then you push them off the major platforms. Good thing is, I think Elon said that everyone's coming back, with some exceptions, Monday. Did you hear that, Che?
Yeah, I heard that.
Or next week, whatever he said.
Who are the exceptions? Is it just
Uh,
Alex?
I don't. He didn't. He didn't specifically say that, but he said something to the effect of didn't break a law. Now I'm not a lawyer, so Alex Jones had the civil. He's got all kinds of civil stuff, but he got the judgment against him. Would you consider that breaking the law?
Well, not if there's a difference between civil law and
Yeah.
and so I don't think that he didn't break a law. If he broke a law, he would have been charged with something.
Okay.
And
So then to me, then that if you don't say that the civil case judgment is breaking the law, then that would have to include Alex Jones. But we'll see. But I think for sure Nick Fuentes and others might be coming back. But I bring that up to say when you push people to other platforms, you actually have to, if they want to get power and views, they've got to be even more controversial. You're not going to be milk toast on an alt platform and get views. It just ain't going to happen. And you can see the kind of evolution of this channel stuck in the middle. But if you look at the YouTube now, you search middle MAGA for me now. So I'm not some great marketer or anything like that, but stuck in the middle is a hard thing to search for, and the algorithm doesn't like that. Now I'm
Right.
not going to I'm in the middle. I'm not changing who I am, but I've got to look at the marketing. So that is part of the story here. Let's look. Speaking of marketing, let's look at this video that Ye put on his website or on Twitter actually.
Kanye West, now known as Ye, is one of the best-selling musical artists in the world. He's also in recent years become a celebrated and very highly paid fashion designer. And of course, for a decade, he was well known to TV audiences as an in-law of the Kardashian family. But it's West's latest incarnation as a kind of Christian evangelist that brought us to his office in Los Angeles today for the interview you're about to see. Days ago, during Fashion Week in Paris, West, accompanied by his friend Candace Owens, unveiled a T-shirt that read simply, "White Lives Matter." The response from the fashion industry and international media was instantaneous and uniform: shock, horror, rage.
We have got to cancel him. And I know we do not try to be in a cancel culture, but we've got to hit him in his pockets now.
I gave him my opinion, to never be hurtful to nobody or nothing like this, and trust in God.
What was strikingly missing from the coverage, however, was any explanation for why West did this. What was the T-shirt about? No one seemed to think to ask him, much less to listen to what he had to say.
Look, I forgive him for the things that he said, because I'd already identified with something's going on that I don't understand now.
Instead, the enemies of his ideas dismissed West, as they have for years, as mentally ill.
Listen, okay, I don't think Kanye is crazy at all. I think he's possibly not well.
Harley Pasternak. Pasternak was explaining that West had better stop saying, quote, crazy stuff. In other words, he'd better get back on script, or else he would be severely punished. Quote, second option, if you don't shut up, quote, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you, and you go back to zombie land
forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. This is the way a Hollywood trainer was talking to me to force me to go and apologize, right? But they could control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
I have to admit, man, that's appealing for me at least. I don't know. What do you think about that release?
Man, I love it. I thought that. I to a certain extent, I think we all said this. Ye is kind of complicit in the situation that he's in, because I think Ye made deals that he can't go that put him in this position. But when he's saying things, man, that we all kind of know. You know what I mean? That these people are controlled. These people are, they're working for an agenda. He talked about LeBron. He talked about Jay-Z and Beyonce. He talked about these people, Shaq, Charles Barkley. We all know it, man. We all know that there is a cabal of people that hide behind the scenes, and they pull the strings on all these celebrities and all these media heads and all these companies, that they are the ones that really in control. Whatever you want to call them. You want to say that they're a particular race, particular religion. I don't necessarily ascribe to that. I think that there is just an amalgamation of people who have a tremendous amount of wealth and tremendous amount of power, and they're moving the world in a direction where they're going to take total control. And that's what's going on. You want to call it the Great Reset, you want to call it the New World Order, that's just the reality. Is they're doing it every single day. Whether it's BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, all these things that we're not allowed to talk about, we're all supposed to just be hush hush that is going on, but it's happening. So I think this is the tip of the iceberg. I don't know how deep he's going to go into this. I don't really put my trust in him to just completely go into it, but I think that's a good thing. I don't think we should. I think the same thing with Trump. And I think the biggest problem with Trump is that we all just sat back and said, Trump is going to save us. And the reality is Trump, nor Ye, nor anybody else is going to save us, but us. It's us having a collective voice, us waking up to this, us people like you and I who don't have millions and millions of followers, but yet we know the truth and we're able to wake people up and say, hey, look, this is what's going on, and connecting the dots. I can connect the dots from Davos all the way to middle America and say that this is the reality of what's happening, right? So I'm with it, man. Like, let's get it out there. Let's talk about it. Let's start putting these people on blast. Let's start pointing fingers and saying, let's find out who the traitors are. Let's find out who the people who are betraying us are. Let's find out who the people who are behind this are. And let's start naming names and talking and saving dates and doing everything that we need to do to get this out there, because this is the reality, man. Reality is whether this is one big distraction. Let's stay focused on what's going on. These people are moving this world in a direction where they have complete control, and you will have nothing. You want to sit here and talk about Nick Fury not being able to bank. You don't talk about Kanye not being able to bank places. Who do you think is going? Where do you think this is all heading? Where do you think this is all heading? They're already late. They're already rolling out these pilot programs of digital currency to where you completely lock your system, lock the whole system out. This is what's happening, man. This is a reality.
Yeah, and it's concerning to me because there's a lot of things I like about Ye. There's a lot of things I like about Nick, and for people to label him as something. So then, what do you label me? Somebody who listens to him, who can say I disagree on this and disagree on that. Is it the next step is now, and same with Tim Pool, as crazy as it sounds, they're looking at Libs of TikTok, Matt Walsh, Tim Pool now as these hateful people. So what do you think? Even Joe Rogan, remember during the pandemic? So what about the millions of people that listen to them? What do they think about you? So yeah, I'm very concerned about that. But look, going to the article, Ye. So the article explains more, and I believe that Cassandra's source here is directly Milo. I believe she's put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
That so Milo's his campaign manager, so keep that in mind. But Ye said that Trump tried to change the subject when he started talking about pardoning J6ers to Alice Johnson, and this was a grandmother who had been serving life without the possibility of parole. The woman's freedom was a passion project for Kim Kardashian. So Ye is saying he was changing the subject because he didn't want to talk about J6. I find that interesting. He didn't flesh that out in that little video we played, but that gives a little bit more context to why he would bring up the Kim stuff. They said that things at the dinner began to unravel when Trump insulted the mother of his children. So Trump basically was screaming at me at the table, telling me I'm going to lose. And then that's where he said that in the video, where he said, hold on, you're talking to Ye. This is tweets where they're talking about what happened with the Daily Beast. I'll skip over that part there. According to a source familiar with the events, Ye arrived at Mar-a-Lago with Giorno, who served as Trump's Florida chief strategist in 2016, and later a senior advisor, as a power move to show how serious he is about the White House bid. So he's got a lot of former Trump loyalists there. That's what he was trying to say in the video. And she worked for multiple presidents. And does she have an official? So he showed up with her, but I don't know of an official part in his campaign yet. But Ye came to the table with like some people. He didn't just come by himself.
No, and if you've seen in that video, he also was saying, let's bring back some of these people, and he had pictures of Roger Stone up there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that I believe that have been going against the establishment for a long time, and that were behind Trump and this whole push to get him into the White House. And I think what happened, in just my opinion, is I think that once Trump got in there, he realized he couldn't do anything because these people were so ostracized by the mainstream narrative, and that nobody wanted to work with them because they completely went against the agenda. And I think Trump's presidency, if you look at it, there was a lot of compromises that were made, and eventually I think those compromises did him in, and there was a chess move, and they were taking pieces and taking pieces and taking pieces until they put Trump in a corner to where he couldn't get out of. And that's why I feel like he made his decision. I just think that I just think that Ye is kind of bringing those skeletons out of the closet. He's bringing these people back and saying, "Hey, Trump, what about this guy? What about her? What about this?" You know what I mean? It could very possibly that all these people who have a gripe against Trump because of that have found a voice in Ye and now are propping him up to push back. But either way, if you're against this whole agenda that they have going on, I'm with it.
Yeah, my biggest criticism of Ye so far is that he's all over the map. When you show the pictures of Stone and Alex Jones and all the different people, and you're with Milo, you got Sneeko in there, you got Nick. Man, they're all over the spectrum. Like they don't. Alex Jones doesn't mess with Nick. I mean, that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over the place, and Kanye's too scattered right now. For me, the underlining theme there is free speech. Now, he's the marketer. Maybe that's boring to say, And so I'll talk about how Trump talked about my wife and just do all this stuff to get excitement. But for me, and it's not for me, I still think he's targeting a younger audience, more an audience that's not into politics. But for me, it doesn't resonate because I'm like, what are you about? What is Ye about? If he wants to be a Christian nationalist, then do that. And then you want to say, hey, I'm for free speech. Why are these people ostracized? The same thing that happened to me could happen to you. Then I can kind of see that. But for him to be all over the map here, he's got to get organized to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't. This is what I'm saying is I don't know if Ye really even knows what he stands on. You know what I mean? And I think that there are people who are seeing this as an opportunity to push back against some people that push them out, whether those people are Trump or whether those people are just the establishment in general. But I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? I don't. You see what I'm saying? Like if somebody like Ye came to me tomorrow and was like, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing," then I'm gonna say, "Hey, let's do this." I don't have the reach that Ye has, obviously, but I'm gonna feed this to you because I think this is what's going to be best for us in general. You know what I mean? And let you be the figurehead. That's fine with me. But I think that at the end of the day, there is a battle going on between those that are America first, those that are nationalists, however you want to look at this, and those that are globalists. We already know that that's the fundamental difference. So whatever can get the side that I believe, which is the nationalist side, the America first side, the individual rights side, I'm for that. You know what I mean? I'm for that all the way. So however we got to do it, let's do it.
Yep, it's not I fall into this trap. It's not a red versus blue, Republican versus Democrat. That is not the divide. The divide is just what Che said there. It's populist versus one earth government type people. And I will pull this up real quick. I don't know what day this was from. This is from the video. It looks like Ye is wearing these boots that he always wears. It's hard to see. It's blurry. It looks like it says Balenciaga. So I don't know when that was taken. It's from the conversation. They were talking about the meeting, so I thought it was recent. But even from the standpoint of they dropped him in October. So why would he be wearing their gear after October? Something might be a small thing. I don't know. But I just think he needs to tighten up the ship a little bit. But maybe Milo will help him with that. We'll see.
Oh yeah, with yeah. I think and they have the. It's so weird. It's like you were just saying right now about that's what the fundamental divide is. It's not between Republican and Democrat, and that's interesting that you brought that up right now with the that label. because none of the mainstream media covered that.
Crazy.
Nobody wanted to talk about it. It's so obvious, man. It's so obvious that these people are just covering for an agenda. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't see that by now, if you really go online and you go on Twitter and you go on Instagram and you just see what some of these these pages are posting, it's like I see the agenda behind everything now. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, these people are covering for some very, very power hungry and, in my opinion, sick people that are behind this whole thing, man. It's there. You know what I mean?
It's hard not to see it. And what they don't cover tells you as much as anything else. You look at and who knows if those things are devalued, deranked in the algorithm for every site, including Twitter at this point. So that they don't talk about the Balenciaga stuff. I bet you if you're saying Balenciaga on videos right now on YouTube, automatically deranked because it's a hot topic right now. Why wouldn't you talk about that? It's a big issue. I'm not even saying come to a conclusion, but at least bring it up. Some of the topics they bring up, like the FTX stuff, they don't bring it up from the standpoint of you can go on Twitter and search FTX and find way more in-depth discussion than you can, in the mainstream media. So you have to wonder why that is.
It's just becoming so apparent. Like, and I've been saying this for years, that they put out what they want to put out, the stories that they want to talk about. But it's getting so hard to do that because there's so many people that are waking up and are talking about it. Channels like this, channels like myself, that we're not afraid to say what needs to be said. You know what I mean? It's over with. It's over with. We're onto it. We see that if you don't want to talk about some little kids being sexualized, and you want to just downplay that like it's nothing, there's something wrong there, straight up. And you had people who recently, I think they came at Tim Pool over and Matt Walsh, and talking about how they're Cenk. I posted a video on that, I think on Instagram, where he was saying, they're just projecting and all this different thing, and this because that's what they really are. It's like, dude, this is what's going on here. Like, there are kids watching, being exposed to these sexualized kind of performances and stuff like that, regardless of how you want to twist it. If you're on the side of that thinking that that's okay, no, I'm cool on all that, bro. That you're weird. You're a weirdo, and that's just the reality. There's something absolutely wrong with you. I don't care what you're talking about.
Yeah, it tells you a lot. So looking at the article, back at the article here, that really does a great job kind of breaking down what happened. Going down to where the kind of the dinner kind of went off the rails a little bit. If you go down here, they talked about that originally several reporters were saying that Nick wasn't there. And my thought was, I wonder if Trump might have did that because Trump might have wanted separation from that. But we have more details that he was there. Trump was not given a heads up by Kanye that he'd be bringing Nick to it. So Trump might have been taken by surprise. Nick, did you have thoughts on that?
I think that's great. I love it.
Yeah,
he ambushed him.
Yeah,
because then I'm thinking about Trump, and I'm thinking about the things that probably is going through his head. His son-in-law is Jared Kushner, and that whole family, and a lot of his business associates, and then for Ye to drop that bomb in that video of saying that he's very impressed with Nick how are those people going to take it? You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of things, man. Like, the deeper you get into this, you start to realize, and especially if you start seeing it yourself, whether it's from being a YouTuber and having access to politics, or being a journalist, or having access to politics and being in the midst of it, you start to notice, why doesn't this person talk about that person when they talk about this person over here? And then you start finding about all the little underlying deals and agreements that they have going on, and ventures that they have going on. It's fascinating to me. So when I start hearing things like that, I start going, I don't think Trump wanted that out there.
Yep. And I had to put a cough drop in. I apologize if you hear it in my mouth. Nick attended the dinner, and sat across from the president. This is Karen, I believe we're talking about, sat to the president's right, Ye to his left. Yeah, Karen said. The president was by himself for dinner, but invited Ye to meet some people on the patio. So Karen said, DiGiorno said there was at least 7 other tables with people having dinner nearby. We had traditional turkey dinner, which wasn't on the menu. DiGiorno told Tim Cass it was delicious. Ye had seconds of the stuffing. So these are like intricate details to kind of prove like I was there and I saw the whole thing. That's what that is to prove. Nobody says details like Ye had seconds of stuffing if they weren't there to back it up.
Right.
So Milo, according to the source, sent DiGiorno as a signal to Trump that Ye is serious about his campaign and working with people that normally would have been expected to be in the former president's camp. Yeah, this is a big deal.
That's what I'm saying. It's you got people that and we don't know how that relationship is between Giorno and Trump. You know what I mean? She used to be on his staff. And now she's over here. I mean, just think about that. Just think about you had people working for you, and then all of a sudden, now they're working with a competitor, and they show up to a meeting. That's a statement. You know what I mean? And I think, and then I just don't think any of this stuff is by accident. When you start in the same sentence, Ye starts mentioning January 6th. It's kind of like, and I saw on Nick's Telegram that he after the speech that Trump gave, he said he called it an epic fail, and he said there was zero mention of the January 6th, zero mention of election fraud, and there was something else that he had said that I can't remember what it was right now, but basically he was critical of the president for not bringing up some of these things that I've said, these are things that you need to talk about. You know what I mean? You need to talk about this stuff, man.
Wow. I did not see that from Fuentes. I'm gonna have to look that up. But that means a lot now that Fuentes here, according to the article, he was sent as a power play as we discussed, obviously, as he would never be normally allowed past the gatekeepers into Mar-a-Lago to speak with the president, because his handlers would probably say, we don't want you anywhere near the president because of the association with you. Just understand, like Steve Bannon, none of a lot of the populist right figures that I talk about, they don't know Nick or they don't rock with him at all. They don't like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Halfway through the dinner, Trump gets a call, the source says. When he comes back, the whole tenor of the dinner changes, and he starts ranting about Kim Kardashian, saying she's disgusting and all the rest. Ye just looked around the table and said, that's the mother of my children. See, I don't really care too much about that point. But by this point, the whole meeting was becoming a disaster. Trump starts getting edgy, antsy, fidgety. This part is funny coming up here, and angry. He can't get them out of there fast enough. So look at this. When they get up to leave, there's an enormous line of people who want photos of Ye, and not a single one of them asked for one with Trump alone. So they wanted photos with Ye, and then they said Trump was just kind of allowed to join in on some of them. By the end, Trump was like, is the car here? Is the car here? Where's their car? Get them the hell out of here. So that somebody might have called Trump and said, bruh, you're not ready for this. They ambushed you. What are you doing? Who knows? But the source said that the evening began with Trump seemingly trying to neutralize Ye, basically trying to control him. Everybody knows how powerful he is. But the mogul was of the mindset, you don't have anything for me, and you're not offering me anything, so I don't know what we're doing here, but thanks for dinner. This is crazy. Much different than the meeting after Trump became president.
Oh, yeah.
So though Trump allegedly flew off the handle at Ye, he was dazzled by Fuentes. I don't know how if you look at him objectively, he's an impressive dude. Like the dude is his knowledge of history, his knowledge of politics. I've learned a lot just from listening about him.
Are you talking about Nick?
Nick, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I learned a lot about how politics work, the administrative state. Nick gets into all kinds of side drama, and there's channels that Offspring that do nothing about talk about drama with Nick. I don't get into all that. I don't care about all that. When you look at the substance, bruh has a lot of substance I don't get anywhere else from anybody else. Fuentes, once an avid Trump supporter, is rumored to be in line to serve as the communications director for the Yay 24 campaign. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think they're really pushing the line here. And like I said, I love it. But like I said, I don't completely ascribe to any of these people's ideology, but I think it's good that we're getting uncomfortable. That's what I think. I think it's really good that we're getting uncomfortable. I think comfortability, is leads to complacency, and complacency is the enemy of progress. And so we're not going to get anywhere if we're being complacent and we're being comfortable. And that's what I've been saying, especially with Trump running, is that I think it just lets people get comfortable, and we all just sit here and say, well, let's wait for 2024. Meanwhile, the other side continues to dominate the culture. They continue to dominate the younger generations. They continue to dominate in these institutions like of media and academia and all these places that really have an effect. And while we're sitting around waiting for just Trump to run and come over and save us, you know what I mean? So I love the uncomfortability of this whole thing. And I love that it's making people uncomfortable. And that's, to me, is going to be way more valuable in the long run. So I'm all for it, man. And I think when you the thing about Nick that I think people don't like, and this is what I learned watching. I've seen a lot of his stuff before. I've seen people talk about him and heard a lot of different points of view. Um, and just so you know, like, I don't really ever buy, when first of all, whenever they label somebody a white supremacist or a white nationalist or a racist or a homophobe or any of the different things, right? All that really tells me is that they're not with the agenda. That's it. Like, until I hear some really overtly um you know racist stuff, I don't really think of them as being racist. I think of them as they just don't ascribe to the agenda. You know what I mean? And but one of the things that I like, that's why I watched the No Jumper interview, and I thought that was really big because, I mean, No Jumper is not a political place. No Jumper is a hip hop channel. No Jumper is about, they're actually kind of a they talk a lot of the drama and the beef and all that type of stuff that goes on in the streets. So to have somebody like Nick on was kind of crazy, and I wanted to see how everybody how he responded. He didn't back off of his beliefs for them. He explained some of the comments that he had made. He explained them, um, and then he kind of threw it back at them and say, "Well, don't you say stuff about these people?" You know what I mean? Would it be there was a part where he talked about and Sneeko really got in on it too, where they were asking him, "But do you think that white people are superior?" And he said, "No, I think everybody is equal under God." He goes, "But I do think that there are people that are better at certain things. There are different cultures that foster development in different areas than other areas." You know what I mean? And so, you know, he started naming some things, and then of course they said, "Well, so you're saying that only white people can do this and do that?" And he said, "No, I'm not saying that." He goes, "Be like you saying that don't, that you saying I think black people are better at sports." And he goes, "Wouldn't you not say that?" And nobody can disagree with that. They all said, "Yeah." He goes, "Now, wouldn't you laugh at and say, look at a white person that can't dance or doesn't season their food, or, you know what I'm saying?" I mean, this is, and everybody, this. So I think he was just saying that the same jokes and same type of belief system that you have, I have. It's just that we're we have different races, so we see it from a different perspective, and I think that kind of gives people more of a way of looking at things and saying, well, what, then really, what is he saying here? Like I said, I don't agree with a lot of things he says. I don't agree with the IQ thing that he talks about, and he says that that some races are inherently have lower IQs. I don't agree with that. I think that we all have the ability to reach enormous, tremendous potentials. Everybody, but I do think that there are cultures that foster development better. You know what I mean? And so if you're living in an environment, which I just saw a clip the other day on a new reality show that's coming out called South Central Baddies, where these are, women fighting each other and I mean, it's just degeneracy. How can a child be expected to grow up and reach their full potential in that type of environment? So I think that there are cultural problems that need to be addressed. I think culture is everything, and that's why we stay. You know, that's why that's to me that's the what you call it, the front lines of this battle right now is culture. That's why we talk about culture, politics, and common sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna as soon as I can, I'm gonna watch that No Jumper because I love those type of discussions, and I think that people who want to control things, they don't want those discussions had, because when you have those discussions in a genuine manner, then like it's not a screaming debate. Then you're like, okay, I might not agree with this dude, but he's not some type of evil person I should be worried about. Maybe I should be worried about this person more, So I kind of like that. I have not read this yet, Jay. I just saved it because I saw it.
Oh yeah.
Did you see this? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I read it. I read it earlier this
Oh,
morning.
good. So let me go through it, and then you'll have some because this is my first time seeing it. Oh, well, I saved it, but I was like, this seems like something pertinent. This is Candace Owen said regarding Ye 24. I'd like to state some things publicly and for clarity, because there is a man, it sounds like, who seems to have personal feelings for Milo, who is attempting to insert me into what can only be described as a drug-induced paranoid narrative. Before I go on, do you know what she's talking about?
She's what's his? I don't remember his last name. Is that Raheem?
Oh, okay.
He's the one that has
Yeah.
made allegations that said that he was sexually assaulted by Candace Owens' husband.
Oh, yeah. So we're going down that path. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it Rashid Kassam who said that?
I think yeah.
Yep. So this is getting crazy.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Never in my life been in contact with Milo or Nick. That is not a personal shot at either one of them. That is simply the truth. I met Milo twice, both at this Freedom Center where we both were invited as speakers years ago. I was with Dave Rubin. He can attest to that fact. Milo was nice to me both times. That is the extent of my relationship with Milo. I met him twice years ago at a conference. I did not introduce Ye to Milo. I simply could not have introduced Ye to Milo. I've never had any contact with him. Again, not a personal shot, just simply stating the truth. I was in London when they met and learned at the same time as everyone else. This is crazy. The idea, if people don't know, Candace has always worked with the Ye. She wore the White Lives Matter shirt with Ye at that event a while back. The idea that I have somehow connected Ye, Milo, and Nick to take down Trump is, again, part and parcel of this narrative. So I did a react to Candace. So I'll stop here. Did you see Candace's kind of, I don't even know what you would describe it, spilling the tea on her and Trump? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, the one she did on her show.
Yep. So that's what so I think she's saying people are seeing that, and it was viewed as an anti-Trump clip. What were your thoughts on that clip?
I mean, just her take, like I said, I think it's more, she has a personal issue with Trump, but I think it's also part of this whole I think that there is a whole element within the right that is turning on Trump, but not in the sense of not in the sense of we want to get Trump. I think people are genuinely trying to figure out, what are we doing here, Trump? You know what I mean? What I don't understand what you can't. And I wrote an article for Schoon TV about Trump, and I said that Trump is starting to. This is an exact quote from that article. I said, Trump is starting to look like the murder suspect that's coming out of an interrogation room and free to go. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I think that there's people that want answers. You know what I mean? Like we just saw you the other day. You just got picked up for this murder, and now you're free, and you're walking around like everything's okay. And I think people deserve to say, "Hey, well, how did you get out of that situation?" You know, and how come you're not talking about that anymore? And how come you're talking about this? And that's, I think that this is part of a larger kind of these rumblings that are going on below the surface of people saying, "Hey, wait a minute here, what's going on?" And I think Candace is kind of, but she does have her own agenda in that with all that too. So
Yeah, I didn't realize how young she was. She's not. She wouldn't even be eligible to run for president in 2024.
no,
She's too young.
she's that young.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But
Oh, wow.
I think it's that type of move. I think she's trying to get her. I think Tucker Carlson could get into this realm. I don't know about 2024, but definitely depending on what happens in 2028. But yeah, I agree with that. So looking at
There's a whole not to cut you off, but it's there's a whole kind of network of people, and I don't know if Candace is. I wouldn't even say that Candace is in that category, but there's a whole network of people that are anti-establishment, but not necessarily Trump people, not necessarily Republicans, but they're against the grain type of people. You know what I mean? And you know, this is what I like about people, and I think Tucker Carlson kind of falls in that category. You know, a long time ago, Tucker Carlson was very, very pro-war, and now he speaks out against that whole military-industrial complex. I think that there's people that just know, that are just like, no, no, no. There's something going on here. There's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, and they're calling it out. You know what I mean? And I think that that's going to be the vanguard in this whole movement of putting together our own reset. You know what I mean? That it's not, we're not necessarily getting behind one person or one figure like a Trump, but we're moving. We're moving according to a script and according to values, and that's what I talk about. Like with Trump, like I hear you. I see the things that you're with, but I'm not going to compromise my values. I'm not going to compromise my principles. And when you said that you had something, I want to see it. And if you don't have anything, then you need to be quiet. That's how I feel. And and that would be the same for anybody, right? I'm going to hold everybody to that standard. If you say you're going to do something, then you need to do it. Trump didn't do it. I'm not going to let that go because that's important. That's important for me on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? When I deal with people, when I do business with people, if you don't come through, if you don't have any integrity or any honor behind your word, then I don't mess with you. Well, why would I do that? Why would I have any type of hold the people that are supposed to be the leaders of the country to any different standard? And I think we're getting tired of that. And I think that people are getting tired of that. And I think that there's going to be something collectively that I feel that is happening. And maybe this is what we're seeing as a product of that. But no more leaders, no more demagogues, none of that. It's going to come from people like you and I down here just talking about these issues and not being afraid to say it.
Yeah, and I really like that. So I hope, I've been very critical of DeSantis, and I have not changed. I do not change my stance on that. But the reason I bring it up is, I hope people don't confuse that with me personally as saying I don't want Trump to be challenged. This is great. I wish Ye was more focused, but this is great. He's being challenged. He's being outflanked from the populist side, and that's how our country's supposed to work. You're going to run for president? Well, we can outflank you from this side and see what happens. So I'm all here for it. I love it. Going back to the Candace Owens stuff here, she wanted to clear the air You could tell. I could feel her intensity with these tweets. She said, I have not ever taken any money from Ye. It's despicable to me on so many levels that people would ever suggest this. Ye is my friend. I will continue to be his friend. I do believe he is a genius. I do agree with that too, in his own realm. Ye and I were friends before we put on the White Lives Matter shirts. We were hanging out before Paris. It's just the press didn't know about it. So I thought we knew about that for a while, but I guess press didn't know about it, so they were unable to make up absurd narratives. The idea that Rebecca Mercer or my husband tried to scam Ye into buying Parler is a lie. Ye asked me, this is good because I always wanted to know, this is the first I've heard any details about how that went down. Because the articles I read were all very generic, just very basic. So Ye asked Candace Owens if he could buy Parler after he was banned from Twitter, pre-Elon takeover. This idea came entirely from Ye, who was very invested in creating his own ecosystem. How could I question Ye? Entrepreneur, all that. I just wonder, how do you bring Parler back up in this environment? I would have liked to have done some type of deal with Rumble, to be honest with you. Rumble has the locals platform, which is almost like a private Twitter for just your followers, and they have the video platform, so you can get your music, because we're not very far from Ye getting his music banned, in my opinion. Any thoughts on that, Jay?
Yeah, but I think this Elon thing kind of throws a twist in it. You know what I mean? And then this even could be, I mean, because you see Elon is now kind of like really, really loosening up. At first he came on and he was saying no, 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 and all the $8 and different blue checks and all this different thing. But now he's unbanning people. Now he's kind of turning this into a circus here. He had the whole but a revenue driven circus. You know what I mean? He had the whole poll for bringing Trump back, and now he's doing it. He's doing polls every day. What should we do? This, should we do that? And I think that kind of throws a wrench in everything, because people are kind of see, well, Twitter's kind of loosening up here, and maybe there's no reason to kind of invest in something like Parler or Rumble or any of those type of things when this could really just be a leverage to try to push Elon in that direction of, hey, you better start making good on your promises here, or we'll just do something else.
Yeah, for sure. And they're bringing in the Mercer family now, and the news that I've seen is that the Mercers are allegedly not backing Trump this time. Via CNBC, GOP mega donor Mercer family has no plans to boost Trump's 2024 campaign as former president loses more allies. So it looks like they are leaking it, or something's coming out. They backed Trump in 2016. Now, who knows? This is angling for the primary. If Trump won the primary, who knows if they would or not. But it sounds like, as of right now, I wonder what the source is here. Two Republican, people who spoke with CNBC did so on the condition of anonymity in order to talk about this. So they just said random people, anonymous people, said that the father and daughter, who are among Trump's major benefactors during his first run for president, are distancing themselves from him. And I would guess they're probably going to DeSantis, but who knows? So Candace,
who knows?
Yeah, I don't know where they're going, but Candace Owens is touching on that, saying that, where did she say it about the Mercer? She said about Rebecca Mercer.
I think it's further down. Yeah.
That was further down. Okay, the idea that Rebecca Mercer or my husband tried to scam Ye is a lie. Ye asked me if he could buy it, and the idea was completely from Ye. The idea that the Mercer family was at all involved in quarterbacking that deal is, once again, paranoid rantings here. So it looks like, is she throwing shade at Kashim or whatever? I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's the one that accused her husband of
sexual
assault, so I would assume so.
Wow, this is getting crazy. I mean, when you look at this topic, Jay, it's covering everything from hip hop to politics to the one world government to fashion to now we're talking about billionaires arguing, and man, this is a hell of a topic. So she says, I've read more conspiracy theories about myself in the last 2 months than throughout the entirety of my career. None of them are true. I draw that line at the idea that I am part of some sinister plot to split the GOP. Let Ye be Ye, let Trump be Trump. So yeah, so that's I mean, that just came out, that spawned out of this whole thing, and that's a whole nother thing to unpack where Candace Owens fits in this. I think Candace Owens, she does the Blexit with Officer Tatum, right? I think they both run it. I'm not sure. They both hype it up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know, the Blexit is the black exit from the Democrat Party. So they have positioned themselves to be important to the GOP or MAGA or whoever, that we can bring black votes to you type of thing. So I think Candace is trying to protect her integrity because if she loses her integrity, that whole Blexit thing is over.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So there's rumors going on with that, and I think Blexit is still a thing. So she's got to protect her interest there. So let me go to the chat. Oh, thank you. Somebody said good content. Appreciate it. Got my voice a little raspy, but hanging in the steady waters.
I didn't realize it's 10. I got about like 5 minutes here, Cyrus. But yeah, let's go to the chat or whatever we can.
Appreciate you stopping by. We got to do. Hey, I have Che's channel pinned in the chat. Go ahead, sub up. You will not be if you're listening to this channel right now and you're still hanging around, you will not be disappointed. Please click and sub up. And I think I found out about Broken Traditions through you. I think I found out about that girl Casey through you.
Good content there too.
Oh,
great
absolutely.
Content, yeah.
She talked about the railroad strike that I'm ignorant to. I thought it was resolved. It looks, obviously it wasn't resolved. It just got pushed back beyond the midterm. But if you search in YouTube, that girl Casey, that she has a good video breaking that down. So good network of people that I'm following here that bring up great topics. Black Pegasus in the chat, Ray Studios. So appreciate that. Let's see here. I'm going back in the chat a little bit here. Katie Maria, thanks for stopping by. But looks like there was some chat here about Trump chose Tillerson as Secretary of State. We're talking about Rex Tillerson on the advisement of war hawk Condoleezza Rice. Was that true? Wow. So Trump was listening to Condoleezza Rice? Condoleezza Rice in another lifetime when I was blue-pilled, I actually thought very highly of her. I still do as far as her political reach and power and being able to navigate that world. But I look at her completely different. You can't be listening to somebody like that if you're Trump. Like, that's not going to take you down a good path.
Yeah, Trump got in there, man, and it's just like anything else. I try to equate these things on a more relatable level. Like, you couldn't go and take over a company, become a CEO of a company, and then start saying, okay, now I'm going to just overhaul everything. There's people that have been established there for years and years and years, have family ties in there, and they're going to start saying, you can't just do this, you can't just do that. There's people that have more power than the people that are running things. We know this. Like, you guys have all seen this been played out even within your own jobs and your own businesses and things like that. So, it's Washington is the swampiest of the swamps. You know what I'm saying? So with that, hold on. Can you hear me? I got a phone call and it came through real quick. But yeah. So Trump just, this is. I think it's gonna get interesting, man. I love it, like I said, but I think we're getting tired of it. I think the people are getting tired of it. They're tired of playing these games. They're tired of. Yeah, I keep tuning out. I'm actually supposed to be somewhere in a minute.
Let me not hold you up. But quick, tell everybody what you do, so they know to sub up.
Yeah, I'm the host of the No Spoon Podcast. You can go to my YouTube channel and subscribe there at the No Spoon Podcast. We talk about, like you see my shirt, culture, politics, and common sense. You know what I mean? Those are the important things that I think that we have to get down to. We talk about what needs to be talked about, and everything that you've heard today, you can pretty much get on my channel all the time. I'm dropping stuff every week. I got new videos up there, and we're gonna start expanding more going into 2023 because I really feel like this is the year that we need to really make big moves here. You know, it's big moves time because they're making big moves, and this is how we're going to avoid all this. But I'm very big on the populist movement. I'm very big on the people, on liberty, individual liberty, and you know, taking back the culture first and foremost. That's what we need to do more than anything, is take back this culture, because the culture is going to dictate everything. So, you know, hit me there. I'm on my YouTube channel. You can get all my other links to Twitter, Instagram, all that other places that I do stuff at, man. But we're doing stuff all the time. So I mean, I appreciate you having me on, even though it was last second. I just seen you jump on. Actually, I saw it late last night, and I was gonna text you, and I'm like, it's really late. But I saw it, and I was like, oh, let me get up and get ready for this, man, because I had a little bit of time this morning, and I'm like, yeah, because I was going through all the tweets, and I'm like, oh, this is getting good. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for joining, man. I don't want to hold you up too much. Appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you having me, man, and we'll do this again.
Absolutely.
If you watch that No Jumper.
Oh yeah.
And then maybe we can talk about that sometime, because I think it's really interesting. I think you'll find it interesting.
Yep. I might do a live stream on it, or a members only. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know.
Yep. Cool. Take care, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Peace. So thank you. Che just stopped on, man, and when you look at Che and Black Pegasus, I tried to holler at Black if he was able to jump on. The perspective that they give is priceless. Let me just recap where I stand. Right now, I still stand with Comic Dave Smith as my #1 choice for president. He hasn't announced yet, though. So for people asking, well, where you are with Comic Dave Smith, I don't know what the timing is, all that. He hasn't announced. So at this point, I'm with Don Dada. That's where I'm at. I still think he's the most realistic chance. I still believe in, I like what I see with some of the people he's associating with, but there's obviously red flags. I will give Ye a chance. Don't get me wrong. I like Nick better than I like Ye. But he has to prove to me that he's serious. He has not done that yet with how he's presenting himself. I need to see him focused on a message, and I don't want to hear any blackity black this religion group that's just not for me. Even though I like Nick talks about that a little bit. I don't want to see that. Ye's the one running, not Nick. So Nick is supposed to be the if that happens, he would be the communications arm for Ye. So how Nick feels, it doesn't really play a role. It's all coming from Ye if that were to be the case. I think that'd be a great hire. If Ye hires Nick as a communications manager or whatever, that would be a great hire. The dude is really, really bright. He debated Comic Dave Smith. I played the clip. Believe this or not, this really happened. Eric July, Elijah Schaefer, Sidney Watson sat down with Nick Fuentes, and it was an amazing episode of You Are Here, one of my favorite episodes from one of the best YouTube channels that's been out that I've seen in the last couple of years. You Are Here. It's no longer active, but it's still on YouTube. It was a great episode. If you don't know, Ye did announce a while back his run for president. So the run for president is before this Trump meeting, to my knowledge. And here's a little piece of how that kind of went down.
It's Milo right here.
How you doing,
Working
Milo?
on the campaign.
Oh, right on.
Is that an announcement? I guess it is. Thanks. I accept. So it's all good. So boom, right here, we got the Balenciaga right here. But it's the Ye 24 merch on it. You know what I mean? Hey guys, what's your name?
Giuliano.
This is Giuliano right here. He was filming me outside, so I said, just come inside. Just pick up what we're doing right here.
How are you guys?
Right here, so this is where we're cutting patterns. We're making the coat. Johan, can you take these? You got the back one out to the trunk.
Thanks for having me here, Kanye.
Absolutely. So we got some of that right here. That's that.
So these are all, to my I'm not an expert on the fashion stuff. I don't really care for Balenciaga and all that. I don't get into that at all. But my understanding is that these are all Balenciaga pieces. So he's got inventory. This is what it looks like to me. When you've got inventory, you've got to move the inventory. So, for example, I got gear, that's on Spring Tee. Spring Tee doesn't have the inventory stocked up. I don't have to pay them up front to get the shirts printed. If that were the case, you would hear my voice would be sore from saying, go to the website, buy the shirt, because I got to move the inventory. But that's the situation he's in. You can't have inventory sitting. You got to move it. So he's putting Ye 24 on it and selling them. He said all gear $20 a piece, so he'll sell them pretty quick.
Ye 24, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. So you are running.
Yes.
That's awesome, Kanye.
Simple.
Simple as that.
I know if I can tell me,
Yeah.
you should say this, you should say that, It's just we're moving towards the future. Like, so what we do here is I'll cut up, 100 hoodies from Yeezy, from Balenciaga, from the stuff we did at Gap, from the stuff we did at Adidas, and everything we do is going to cost $20. We need to make sure that everyone can receive the same level of cuts, the same level of food, same level of water, same level of education, the curriculum, the engineering. We're beings with engineering opportunities. We're getting past the past. We're focused on the future.
Right.
Here. I'll walk you down. Oh, wait a second. We got some of the drip coming in.
All right. New stuff, Kanye?
What'd you say?
Those are new?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I know this is the oversized look. You wear oversized?
Yeah.
Here, take this.
Oh, yeah. Thank you,
We'll
Kanye.
make another one.
So he's kind of bringing it back to the 90s. To me, that almost looks like a 90s style. Katie Maria, a friend of the show, says Balenciaga, they're that G word that they don't, Twitter likes it, is fine with it now, but groomers. And this was uploaded on the 20th. I don't know exactly what day this came from, but it was before the Balenciaga gate blew up. So, but now, if Ye is running as a Christian nationalist, he's got to address it. I haven't heard it yet, but there's so much news coming out. Like, I don't know, but I haven't heard Ye. Ye's got to address the Balenciaga gate. He has to. They dropped him. He was associated with them. It's a big news. You're running as a populist. You're running as a Christian. I think. So that's got to be a topic for you to come out. Should be an easy one. I don't know what Milo and them, I don't know what Milo's doing. Ye should be on that now. Like, people have already dropped videos on it. Where's your topic? Where's your take on that? You just need a 1 minute YouTube or TikTok or something. I don't know what's going on with his communications. It's very cheap. You just take a cell phone and record it. Like, you don't need anything now. So I don't understand what the wait is for on him to reply to that.
Here, appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having me, Kanye.
Absolutely. It's Jay, bro. It's Jay.
Yay.
You can call me Kanye. Everyone has.
Sorry again. Yeah, we're too used to it.
It's going to take us a while to update, right?
Yeah.
But this is the update. We are the update. That's all we need to do. As a species, we need to update together. Everything's been so divisive. Think about when they say diversity. People look at that like it's a good thing, but we're the United States of America. We're a universe. We're a university. We're a republic.
And I think part of my frustration with Ye is I changed the title of my video because I have way more positive things to say about Ye than negative. So I don't want to say, oh, I got a lot of bad things to say about Ye. I'm not going to take that back, but I think the frustrating thing is that I see so much good that he's talking about here, and I like his take on his name. So when it comes to corporations, news outlets, Ye is like, y'all know I changed my name. You're a corporation. If somebody changes their pronouns, we honor that immediately. You would never disrespect them, but you're still calling me Kanye. When it comes to a common person, he's like, yeah, I get it. It can take some time to update. That's a very, you might think that's a small thing. That's not a small thing. That's a very big thing to me that shows to me, gives him credit with me as a populist, believe it or not, something that minor. Here's another clip.
There's a new spot, Kanye.
Yes, sir. Yay. Let everybody know my name,
Yay.
Oh, I think this is the same one from a different angle.
Okay.
We're too used to, you know that, right?
So boom, right here. We got the
Okay. Yeah, that's the same.
We got the Balenciaga right here.
So you'll tell me, yeah, that's the same video there from not a different angle. I think it's just clipped up. Let me know what you think about that. I don't know what the grift game on that is. Can you run for president, then sell stuff on a high side hustle and make money? I don't know, because he has money to make up. Adidas allegedly froze his bank account. I did a short on that. I don't know if anyone's seen that, but I did a short on that. Yay. I don't know if I have that linked up real quick, but he talked about how he tried to use his Apple Pay and it didn't work. And so he found out that Adidas, I don't know if it's through a lawsuit or whatever, they got his bank account frozen. Here's the video if you haven't seen it.
For the week is we have a meeting with civil engineers this week and theologists for the new Donda curriculum. Donda is now the Donda Theology Engineering University. We need people who have vocational training skill sets. This is the way we bring our country back into power. We have to train our children to be able to bring physical things we need in America, right here. You know, we're not going to talk about what we're not going to do. We're only going to focus on what we're going to do, on what we're going to do right here in America. The reason why I'm announcing that I'm running for president is I want the FCC to look at my money. If the FCC was looking at my money, there had been a possibility that Adidas wouldn't have went into JP Morgan and froze my account and put a $75 million hold on 4 different accounts. I went from being a multi-billionaire to not being able to use my Apple Pay. 4 nights ago, I couldn't use my Apple Pay because somehow Adidas was able to legally go in and freeze my money. And when I see this, I think, well, if this could happen to me, this could happen to other Americans. And for what? You know, this can happen to an American that didn't even steal anything, that didn't even hurt anyone. This could just happen to you for saying the wrong idea.
That's what happened to Fuentes. Never broke a law, never went to jail, and he was on the no-fly list, like a criminal. So it really literally happened. Here's another video. I'm going to be out, try to save my voice here. Ye showing an ecosystem. The dots run concurrently. This is his Ye 24 symbol. And you heard him talk about unity. So the dots are connected, supporting each other. Ye. So he's going to have to change his message. Because for him saying that tweet, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on any type of group, that's not going to work. That has to stop if he wants to do this. But Ye says recently his vision is to ensure that the 5 resources everyone needs to be happy, water, food, education, shelter, medicine, are made available in sustainable cities of the future. And this is just his symbol right here. If you're just listening, it's a sphere with dots, kind of reminds me of the earth, the world, and they're all moving in unison. The dots on the outside seem to be moving faster than the dots on the inside. And it looks like it's to represent unity is my takeaway from that. So it's really good. So I'm going to be out here because my voice is getting worse, and I want to save it for some other topic. I literally have 50 topics saved over the last couple days of news stories. There's the news. Let me show you my locals before I'm out. Oh, I wasn't sharing. Here's the sphere. I wasn't sharing some of the videos. I always forget that. That's my bad. But if you're listening, then you didn't miss anything. If you're joining on YouTube, watching on video, I'm on Rumble, Twitter, everywhere. Appreciate you. I'm trying to take the notes on for everything I want to talk about on the stuck in the middle locals. I'll put that in the chat if you want to. It's kind of like a mismatch. It's not a community right now. It's just where I put some notes for topics I want to talk about. But I put that there, the Nick stuff. Ice Cube said he turned down $9 million for a movie opportunity because he didn't want to get the juice. Elon Musk promised that all discussions over the laptop from hell would be made public. That's very pertinent. Thanksgiving, Trump memes, I got all that kind of stuff. Big tech, social media, more proof of them teaming up to silence critics. A good article about Sam Bankman-Fried's parents and the role that they might have played. Russia banned all LGBTQ material from their media. I have to go through and see if that's a topic I can even talk about on YouTube. Twins born after being frozen as embryos. Teacher fired for not reading LGBTQ books in school. Someone that was fired from Kroger for not wearing an LGBTQ symbol got paid out. I think it was a couple people. Robots in California. This is just over the last, November 24th is when I'm finding it. Some of these are before that, but just news fairly recent. In California, they are giving robots the right for unlived force, the license to unlive to robots. Well, I don't know if it passed or not, but that's what they're proposing. Just random stuff here. Biden connecting 401ks to ESG, potentially allowing that. Nina Jankowicz, anti-friend of the show, is now a foreign agent. My goodness. Wife of special counsel, I believe is it Jack Smith, his name? His wife was a producer on the Michelle Obama film. Ben Collins has gone completely off the rails. Canada organization suggests if you are a pureblood, that you should be diagnosed or looked at as having mental issues. I mean, that's just some of the stories that I've got to save my voice for. Crazy. But let me know your comments on Yay. I appreciate you. Middlemaga.com is the website. I'll have a link to this video up there very shortly. Thanks a lot. Take care.